Good morning, Raptor Freaks. Lexi Outs here. It's Monday morning, and we got a triple duty today. Two reactions and a preview today since it's a back-to-back for the Raptors. It's the second to last back-to-back of the season. The last back-to-back is a home and home in Toronto, both games, which is nice. So this is the last weird travel that the Raptors had to do. Playing San Antonio yesterday, losing badly, getting on the plane immediately after and flying to Washington, D.C., to play the Wizards tonight in Washington tonight. So, yeah, we got to do a preview on that game. And we've got to react to both the 905 loss to Capital City Go-Go and the Raptors loss to the Spurs, a game that I attended yesterday at Scotiabank Arena. So we've got lots to talk about. Plus, I've got a new segment for the show today. And also, just a lot. We got a lot. This is going to be a long stream. I can already tell. All right, let's do the previews for tonight since we're staying present. We're not in the day yesterday. We're going to go ahead and look forward to tonight. And I'm going to give you guys all the latest lineup news and the ref report for the preview for tonight. And then we'll do reacting to both the 905 and the Spurs game. All right, so let's start off with the latest lineup news. Now, yesterday when I was at the game, I was worried about Chris because Chris Boucher was not sitting on the bench last night. He was not even at the end of the bench. He wasn't dressed. He wasn't there at all. And I was really worried because of the DMPs that maybe he got pissed off and he just left the team or something like that. But it was reported by Doug Smith on Blue Skies yesterday that Chris was out due to illness. So who knows? Maybe he caught what RJ had and wasn't feeling completely well. And he was sick and contagious, so they kept him away from the arena and the bench and the other Raptors. So that is why Chris's presence was not at the game last night, guys. He's sick, and he was excused. So I don't know if Chris is going on this trip to go to Washington today. I don't know if he'll be available for the game today. I have no idea. But as of right now, Chris is out right now, just so y'all know. Brandon Ingram is still out, but they kind of said that he's progressing and that he's going to be reevaluated again in 10 days. That's according to Michael Grange. You know, Jacoby came back last night, and I did not expect that. So who knows? Maybe we will get people like Grady Dick and Brandon Ingram in before the end of the season. We'll have to see. Ingram is progressing and getting closer, is what they're saying. Yesterday, they sat out Jakob Poeltl and Emmanuel Quickley. And this was a fun little story. I was leaving the game last night, walking through one of the skywalks to get to the parking lot. And Emmanuel walked by me like right after the game. And he was at first a little scared when he saw me because he saw a weird man approaching him. And I said, Emmanuel, IQ, y'all would have won if you and Yak had played today. He's like, oh, that's right. That's right. And then he kept walking. I didn't even think to like ask him a question like, you gonna play tomorrow? Or maybe I should have just told him like something like, get a picture with me, please. None of that. I didn't try to do it, but I did see Emmanuel like right after the game, and he was just me and Adriana and him. He was just walking through up near the Real Sports bar and grill on the second level. And that's where we saw him. That was pretty cool. I also saw Leo before the game and was talking to Leo for a second. Leo was scared of me too. He's like, who's this weird guy talking to me, smoking a joint outside the Scotiabank Arena? I said, Leo, Latvia, Lithuania. He said, huh? I said, Latvia, Lithuania. I'm from Estonia. Let's go, Baltics. And he said, oh, yeah, Baltics, go. So I was bonding with Leo Routens on our Baltic origins, which was pretty cool. He seemed a little, but he's been working major hours all weekend with the March Madness. Him and Jack Armstrong are doing like day shifts right now. So they're a little crazy, a little overworked right now. But yeah, Leo, good to see you on the way in at the game. And good to see IQ on the way back. Now, speaking of IQ and Jakob, I think they're going to play tonight. That's the rules with the rest. You take a rest day. Well, you play the next night. And, well, Poeltl and Quickley should be back in the lineup for the Raptors against the Wizards tonight, but we could probably see RJ sitting for sure. I'm going to guess that. They're going to do the flip. Scott won't sit because Scott needs games, but I can see RJ sitting tonight and maybe some of the other guys that are secondary. But Poeltl and Quickley should be playing tonight, just so y'all know. Dick is out. Dick is out because of his knee, and he'll reevaluate it in a couple. Actually, he should be reevaluated right around now. And Shamshay is still out also. So that's our injury report. It looks like Lawson and Roden are with the 905 now and not necessarily traveling with the Raptors to Washington. That they may be closing out the 905 season, the last two games with the Raptors 905, and then they will join the Raptors immediately after that and play the last stretch of the season. So AJ Lawson and Jared Roden are probably not in Washington today. Colin Castleton, we don't know what's going on with him. That's the other thing. Castleton's second 10-day contract ran out today. And we'll have to find out what the decision that Bobby and Masai are going to make with Castleton. There's two things that could happen here. And don't get upset if this is one of them, guys. What could happen is that they've seen enough of him and they do not do anything with him contract-wise right now. And they go ahead and try out some more people on 10 days. They cannot put another 10-day on Colin Castleton, just so y'all know. They have to sign him to a contract if they're going to do that. Now, they may very well do that. They may be like, oh, we've seen enough of him. We're going to go ahead and sign him for the rest of the season on a contract. But they may not for cost-cutting moves and also so that they can try out more guys for next season. Think about Jamias Ramsey last year. Remember when Ramsey was on our team last year and on 10 days, and he did 2 10 days, and then he was gone, and then we didn't see him anymore, but then he popped back up on our summer camp in our summer league team, and then also in training camp. That may be what happens with Castleton. Castleton may be in that Jamias Ramsey zone. And I know that's scary because everybody say, well, Jamias didn't end up on our team really this year. He was on Oklahoma City on the blue. I get what you're saying, but this is kind of where Castleton is in the whole hierarchy of things, just so y'all know. He's going to run his second 10 days running out today, and the Raptors have to make a decision this afternoon. They have to make a decision this afternoon. So I'm going to speculate that tonight's starting lineup for the Raptors against the Wizards will be Emmanuel Quickley, Oshai Abaji, Scotty Barnes, Jacoby Walter, and Jakob Poeltl. Yeah, I think that's who's going to start tonight. It was very interesting to see them start Colin Castleton last night instead of Orlando Robinson. That may have been partly because his 10-day was about to end, and they really wanted to get time with him. Now, Scotty said after the game in the post-game interview that he's been impressed with Colin, that he had a really hard task joining our team and having to learn everything so quick on the fly and so quickly. And he said he showed a really good smarts and high IQ to learn our system so fast. But also, Scotty, in some ways, reading him, he's kind of on Colin. I don't know if he's totally super enthusiastic about him, but I think he sees some promise in him also, so he would be open to having him around. It's kind of in the middle the way Scotty was about him. So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing for today. I think it'll be Emmanuel, Jacoby, and Oshai with Scotty and Jakob in the lineup tonight. That's who I think will be starting. The Wizards on the other side have had some things change a couple of times since we've seen them. Of course, the first time we saw the Wizards this year, they still had Kyle Kuzma and Jonas Valanciunas. Of course, those guys got traded around the trade deadline. And then we played a 2-game series against the Wizards in Toronto, which we split with them. And the new look Wizards with they're younger and, the way they are. And, well, we're going to play our last game with them today. The series stands at 2-1 for the Raptors, so we can at least tie. If not, win a series outright 3-1. But as of last night and watching our 4-game losing streak that we're on right now, I don't know what the goal is for tonight. It could very well be to allow the Wizards to beat us at home and get some good feelings for their home base, their fan base. All right, so Saddiq Bey was called to the G League, but then before the game yesterday against Capital City Go-Go, he was recalled back up to the Wizards. So he did his rehab with them, really kind of in like practice. And then he's back with the Wizards today. So there is a possibility that Saddiq Bey will be making his NBA season debut against the Raptors tonight, just so y'all know. Malcolm Brogdon is still out. This man's been out since preseason. This man did not play against the Raptors once this year. And this will be the 6th time the Wizards have played the Raptors, including preseason and the offseason. And he didn't play a single damn one of them. Corey Kispert got surgery on his left thumb last Tuesday, and he is expected to make a full recovery and be ready for next season. So Corey Kispert is out now from season-ending injury, surgery. And Bilal Coulibaly, also, who got hurt in the game against the Raptors last time, he's been out 4 to 6 weeks with a right hamstring injury. So no Bilal Coulibaly for them. So no Brogdon, no Kispert, no Coulibaly, but Sadiq Bey should be playing for them. The starting lineup for the Wizards, I will speculate, is Jordan Poole, who got fined for flopping in the last couple days. Really, really bad flop artist. Got fined by the NBA for it. Chris Middleton is available for tonight's game, guys. Justin Champagnie has taken over the starting spot with Coulibaly out. So our old friend, we get two Champagnies. It's a back-to-back Champagnie, Julian to Justin in these two games. Keyshawn George at power forward and Alex Sarr, the two rookies, the two big positions for the Wizards tonight. Off the bench, Bub Carrington, A.J. Johnson, Marcus Smart, Anthony Gill, Tristan Vucevic, who is with the Wizards. He did not play against the 905 yesterday. And then Rashawn Holmes and also Colby Jones and JT Thor, who was playing against the 905 yesterday and killed us, was the best player for the Capital City Go-Go. JT Thor killing it, like Thor from Asgard. So I'm telling you, man, that dude was doing it. So, yeah, that's the Wizards. That's where they're at. Sadiq Bey is probably returning to the lineup. And guys like Kispert are out, Brogdon is out, and Coulibaly is out. The referees for today's game in Washington, the ref report. Well, our two refs from last night went to the replay center, and they'll be in Secaucus tonight. Tom Washington, Kevin Cutler, along with Sheree Mitchell. Those old head refs were exactly what I thought they would be. James Capers and Tom Washington, very ornery, very by the book in some ways. They don't need to be over there doing replays, though. They've been in this league too long to watch cartoons, but they did. They stopped the game for some dumb reason just to give a messed up foul, flagrant foul on Jamison Battle, which was absolutely unnecessary. Jamison Battle did not try and jump into that man's landing space, but James Capers felt like giving him that. And they wouldn't even show us the replay in the arena, y'all. It was weird. I'm like, go ahead and show us the replay again. You'll see Jamison Battle did not try and jump in his landing space, which is bullshit, James Capers. You just taking money away from a young rookie who was undrafted named Jamison Battle, because flagrant fouls cost money too, y'all, just like technicals. So that's bullshit. That call that y'all did, that one review call that y'all did the game last night, the whole entire game, you took too long doing it too. That was stupid, James Capers Jr. You and Tom Washington, you old heads, running up and down the court, 30-year refs. Man, they were annoying, man. Well, Tom Washington, Kevin Cutler, the big man, will be in Secaucus tonight. But in Washington, we'll get Curtis Blair as our crew chief today. Curtis Blair is a friendly ref to the Raptors. We like Curtis. Number 74 in his 17th season out of Roanoke, Virginia. His favorite TV show is Dexter. He likes the movie Grease. He listens to Casey and JoJo. He eats lamb curry. He most like to visit Brazil. And his hidden talent is he plays tennis, y'all. That's right. Curtis Blair has 6 seasons of NBA G League experience, and he refereed the 2008 NBA G League Finals. He also officiated in several collegiate conferences, including the ACC, Atlantic 10, and Colonial Athletic Association. Yeah, Curtis Blair is the best ref for the Raptors today. We are 1-2 this season with him at games. We win 58% of our games in his career when he's available. And the Wizards win 41%. So 58-41 for the Raptors with the crew chief, Curtis Blair. He is the most favorable of the 3 refs. The second ref is Ray Acosta out of Elizabeth, New Jersey. His 8th season, number 54. His favorite TV show is The Sopranos. He likes the movie Scarface. He listens to Michael Jackson. His favorite book is Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He eats anything Italian. His favorite app is Netflix. He most like to visit the Maldives. His bucket list is to be in a Shark Tank surrounded by great white sharks in Australia, and his hidden talent is dancing. Ray Acosta spent 6 years as an NBA G League referee, working the All-Star game and finals in 2017. Yeah, Ray is the worst ref for the Raptors today. We do have a losing record with him overall. This season, we've had him quite a bit. We were 2-3 this season in games for Ray Acosta. So 2 wins, 3 losses. We win 44% of our games. That's the same split for Curtis Blair for the Wizards. 44% of our games, but the Wizards are worse for Ray Acosta, 25%. So 44 to 25% with the split with Ray Acosta, the second ref, favoring the Raptors. Even though he's not a favorable ref to us normally, guys, he is the worst ref percentage-wise for the Raptors today. The third ref is Danielle Scott. She's in her 4th season out of Woodland Hills, number 87. She likes the show Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. She likes the movie Love and Basketball. Her favorite book is Think Like a Monk. Her favorite meal is chicken tikka masala. She likes to use Pinterest. She most like to visit Iceland. She'd like to learn sign language, and her hidden talent is photography. Yeah, Danielle Scott's officiating experience includes 4 seasons in the G League and 8 years at the collegiate level, Mid-Eastern Athletic, Pac-West, and Southern California Intercollegiate Athletic Conferences, and high school ranks in Southern California. There you go. So Danielle Scott, these are all been G League refs. Now, we are exactly 4-4 with her. That is our record. And this season, we're 1-1. So we're 1-1 this season with her. So we're 50% winning percentage with Danielle Scott. And, well, the Wizards win 1 out of 3, 33%. So 50-33 for the Raptors. All 3 refs favor the Raptors today. But we are playing the Wizards. That makes sense. But, yeah, it's not a bad ref crew. Danielle has come around. When we first had Danielle Scott as a ref, she was really mean to us when she first started in the league. But she's evened out more, exactly, to 50%. 4-4 is our record with Danielle Scott as a ref. So there's your ref report. It's not bad. The ESPN matchup predictor is saying that we have a 57% chance to beat the Wizards today on their home court. So they're predicting us to win. Now, they gave us an even better percentage to beat the Spurs yesterday, and we saw how that game turned out. So the matchup predictor from ESPN, take it as you wish. In fact, it was stupid. Stevie Roots, I'm texting him before the game, doing our little ritual on game days, and he's telling me, man, I need the Raptors to win tonight. I'm like, dude, why are you betting on the Raptors right now? They are not trying to win, dude. You are just throwing money away. Listen, Steve, if you're going to bet any money on the Raptors, you need to talk to me and consult first before you do any of this shit. It's like, why wouldn't you? One of your best friends is on top of the Raptors news 24/7, knows everything is going on with them. Why the fuck would you call me and ask me if you should put money on the Raptors to win? That's stupid, Steve. Why would you bet on the Raptors to win yesterday? He's like, oh, man, no, my pro line's all messed up now. I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that, Steve. So next time, Stevie Roots, you need to consult your expert on this subject. Because I would have told you, man, don't put no money on the Raptors for the rest of the year. In fact, if you can, put money against them because you'll probably win that one. Yeah, that's just how it is, man. That's just how it is. So, yeah, we'll talk about this game last night. Let's get in the comments, and we'll do a reaction. But first, let me do an ad for you guys real quick. You know, right now there's a trade war going on between the United States and Canada. This dummy down south started this thing. Well, Canadians are getting together, and they're banding together, and they're buying Canadian. And today I want to endorse a Canadian product on my channel. I'm going to start doing this more just to help y'all become more familiarized with what you can buy that's out there that's Canadian. You say, well, I want to buy Canadian, but I don't know what's out there, Lex. Well, let me teach you today. And today we're talking about potato chips. Yeah, you guys like chips? Everybody loves chips. But you know, most of the big chip brands are American companies. Fuck that. We don't want to buy their damn chips no more. So buy Covered Bridge chips. That's right. Covered Bridge is Canadian owned by a company in New Brunswick. These are Canadian sourced potatoes that are made by Canadians, distributed by Canadians in the country of Canada. So you want 100% Canadian chips, and they are good. I'm telling you right now, these Covered Bridge chips are good. They taste good, and they are a very reasonable price. And they've got all the great flavors that you want. We got salt and vinegar. We got ketchup, the whole style ketchup. You got all dressed. You got salt, sour cream and onion. You got dill, pickle. You get all the potato chip flavors that you want in Covered Bridge brand. So you see that Covered Bridge, go on and get underneath it because it's snowing outside and you live in Canada and you want to support Canadian companies. So screw Frito-Lay. Fuck you, Frito-Lay and Doritos and all your bullshit. We're going to start buying Covered Bridge, Canadian chips made by Canadians, grown by Canadians, and sold by Canadians and bought by Canadians. That's right. Y'all go out there and get you some Covered Bridge potato chips. That's right. That is your Canadian product of the day. That's right. Covered Bridge, y'all. Don't need no Tostitos. None of this shit. Get that Canadian stuff. That's right. There you go. Real good. Real good. All right. Let's see what y'all are saying in the chat this morning. I hope you enjoyed my commercial. It's a new segment. I'm going to be bringing Canadian products on all the time to educate y'all on what's out there to get to help with this boycott and the things we're doing right now. That's right. Trevor J saying, always remember that your present situation isn't your final destination. That's a scary movie. The best is yet to come. Yeah. Okay. I like that. I like that. Yeah, we're all works in progress. We're all on a journey in our lives. And in some ways, the journey has a plot to it. It has a story and things happen in it. And, the person in the story changes from the things that happen in the story. Hopefully, good things happen and you change for the better, but also bad things can happen. You can hopefully still change for the better, even with the bad things. So that's the thing. You can have bad things happen. It's up to you if you want to make them worse for yourself and make yourself a bad person. Yikes. You could be above it. That's right. Final destination. Yikes, Trevor. Yikes. Trevor's saying Scotty and RJ gave the ball away like they were Santa Claus. A gift for you. A gift for you. Okay, Oprah. A gift for you. A gift for you. Yeah. It was annoying, man. I went to the game, right? I'm sitting in the arena. I'm doing my defense chants. Yeah, I'm getting stares. In fact, some of the Raptors were looking at me while I was doing it. I was like, yeah, I'm that guy. I'm doing the defense chants, even though y'all are down 30. Yeah, I did them the whole game still. Yeah, that's crazy. Is that crazy that I yelled defense the whole game? At some point, I said, defense, defense, please, defense. And everybody around me started laughing because I was going, please, defense. And then later on, my defense chant kind of morphed into meh, meh. What can you do when the team's doing shit like this? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I was particularly not impressed with RJ and Jonathan Mobo at the beginning of the game. Both those guys were really just turning the ball over left and right, and nobody could make anything. The big thing about yesterday was interior. Interior. Yeah, on our side, they went inside and did whatever the fuck they wanted to with people like Bismack Biyombo and Devin Vassell. And meanwhile, we going inside and are putting up a wall around that basket from us and not giving us anything easy. And Castleton and Mobo and Barrett, and they just had a hard time putting the ball in the basket because the Spurs were agitators and they had a really, really good interior defense where nothing came easy for the Raptors right from the start, right inside. Meanwhile, on the other end, though, they were coming in and scoring as they wanted to. And not only that, they were shooting threes really well with Julian Champagny lighting it up and killing us. I think I can officially say that Julian Champagny is the best Champagny twin. Seriously, that dude was good last night. Really, really good. Yeah, there were a couple of recipe for disaster that get you a 34-point rout, like what happened to the Raptors against the Spurs last night. And the inside dominance of the Spurs was a big, big part of it. At a certain point in the first quarter, the Raptors had more turnovers than made shots. And that is bullshit. That's always bad. That's always not a good indicator when you have less shots made and you've turned the ball over more. Yeah. And Scotty and RJ both had 6 turnovers individually last night for the game. No good. But they're still 2 of my stars of the game. Oh, it's crazy. Yeah. Scotty is my star of the game for last night, even in the loss like this. In some ways, it's just like, look, Scott had a pretty good game overall. Like he was doing some really nice offensive stuff again, even amidst the badness of our team. It's 8 of 11 from the field, so he shot well. Out of everybody, he shot the best. 3 of 6 from 3. It was nice to see Scotty shooting some confident threes, making them. 3 for 4 at the free throw line. Yeah, it was like Scott missed one free throw and he was shooting it towards where we were sitting. And I was like, man, Scott, what's going on with your free throws? And then he buckled down. And he made the second one, which was good. Yeah, there was a lot of like, I don't know. When I'm in that building, I like to have a presence. And well, I'm a big dude. And if they see my show, they were like, oh, there's Raptor Streak doing the defense chants at the end of the baseline. Yeah, I was doing that. And I was the only one making any noise. And once again, people are looking at me like I'm crazy. But you know what I think is crazy? How loud y'all get for t-shirts and 30 seconds of madness, and you don't fucking do that during the game. Like, what is that? It's like you're shooting blanks. I'm shooting shotgun shots when I do my defense chant because it's helping the team during the game. Meanwhile, all y'all are shutting up and quiet and sitting there in the crowd doing nothing while they're actually playing. And then when they bring out t-shirts and jerseys and things to throw to the crowd, y'all go all crazy and show just how loud you can get. You should be ashamed for that. You try and look at me and make me ashamed for chanting defense for them the whole entire game. Meanwhile, you don't get up off your ass and make any noise unless there's a t-shirt involved. That's what I say to that. All right. Scotty had 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 6 turnovers, a minus 13 with 22 points in 30 minutes. After the game, Scotty was getting told that he made some milestones. Yeah, he got his 2,000 rebound last night as a Raptor in his career, and apparently it's the fastest any individual has gotten 2,000 rebounds in the Raptors history. That he's gotten them faster than somebody like Bosch, somebody like DeMar DeRozan. All the guys that were rookies that came in and did long careers with the Raptors for a few years, he got to 2,000 rebounds before any of them, and 1,000 assists also. And Scotty, when they tell him this, Scotty don't give a fuck. Scotty don't give a fuck about his individual shit. They're like, Scotty, do you know that you got to 2,000 rebounds, the fastest in Raptors history? Really? Well, I don't care because I want to win. Did we win? No. This doesn't matter. In some ways, that's exactly how he's acting, dude. It's like he don't give a fuck that he got 2,000 rebounds so quick. He doesn't. He's not thinking about himself in the least. He's like, we didn't win. We didn't win. That's all he's saying. It's crazy, man. He's so cool, man. He's like that. Seriously, other guys would be like, "Oh, I'm badass. I'm great. I'm great." I mean, Scotty basically said, "I guess that's kind of cool," is what he said. Jamal Shed is my second star of the game. Jamal was a badass in this game too. You know, when the Raptors were floundering, when they were turning the ball over, when they were having a hard time scoring, Jamal was a calm, steady force. And it reminded me of Fred, honestly, guys. You know, when we get in trouble in the past, Fred VanVleet would bail us out with a nice basket somewhere. And well, Jamal was doing that. Jamal started by going into the lane and making little floaters, really nice ones. And this was the problem. The guys that were going right to the rim were finding Sohan and Bismack right in their face. And they couldn't do jack shit against Jeremy and Biombo. Those guys were like a wall. But Jamal found that nice little in-between area in between the mid-range and the up close to the rim and a nice little flip shots. And he was money. He was making them. And then he started hitting some threes too. So Jamal Shed was badass last night. 7 of 14 from the field. He got his career high in points, guys, on the download last night. I don't know if y'all knew that. That was the most he'd scored. 2 of 8 from 3. 1 of 1 at the free throw line. 2 rebounds. 6 assists. 1 steal. 3 turnovers. A -5 with 17 points. Yeah, I just like how steady he was in the chaos. We were not playing well. And Jamal was steady, solid as a rock. That's what his love is. Yeah, that's what he's got. That's right. Solid as a rock. All right, my third star is RJ. RJ was weird, man. I think RJ was still sick, y'all. Seriously, because he didn't look right out there, man. He looked dizzy. He looked a little all over the place. He was shaky. He was losing the ball in weird ways. He was like doing weird shit in the middle of the lane with other teammates, and it was just really bad. Like they'd lose the ball, and the Spurs get the ball and run in transition. Yeah, there was a lot of that going on, but I still like what RJ did out there overall. 8 of 17 from the field, 1 of 6 from 3, 1 of 4 at the free throw line. He did miss a bunch of free throws, and I was watching him. I was like, RJ, what are you doing, man? Make your free throws, Junior. 7 rebounds, 2 assists, 6 turnovers, a -6 with 18 points. In some ways, I don't even know why I gave him the start of the game. Because in some ways, he started like shit, played like shit, and then he kind of fought through it and started trying to make some shots, and he kind of came around by the end of the game. You know, I was really hoping he'd get to 20 points. In the fourth quarter, he scored a whole bunch of points at that point to try and do something. But it is what it is. It is what it is. None of these guys shot well yesterday other than Scott and Jamal. They are the only 2 Raptors that really shot a decent percentage. The rest of these guys were garbage, man. Colin Castleton, 2 for 6, 0 for 1 from 3, 4 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 2 turnovers, 4 points. That's not that great for starters minutes. And in some ways, he was outplayed by Sohan and Bismack. Those guys, the bigs on the Spurs side, just outplayed our dudes in general. Oshai, horrible. 1 for 8, 0 for 3 from 3. He just bricked everything he shot. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, -10, 2 points for Oshai. So you got 4 points from Castleton, 2 points from Oshai, and they're both starting. That's no good. That is no good. Off the bench, we had 5 guys come off the bench, and they were Jamison Battle, who was 1 for 8 also, just like Oshai. He was off. He was not shooting well. 1 for 6 from 3. Made both his free throws, though. 1 rebound, 1 assist, 2 steals, -27 with only 5 points. And like I said, that flagrant foul they called on Jamison Battle, that was bullshit. That was absolute bullshit. It's not like he was trying to hurt the guy. He barely moved. He was like the Statue of Liberty, and he was just up there. And in fact, if he did anything, he didn't move his feet. He leaned into him. And he didn't try to move his feet underneath him to undercut him. That was absolute horse crap, James Capers. Absolute horse crap. Jonathan Mobo really kind of pissed me off last night because he was just too wild and he was not reined in. And there were even really good bunnies and dunks that he should have made that he screwed up. Like, man, you really got to tighten up your finishing, Jonathan. You really, really got to tighten up your finishing. I know that the refs are allowing the Spurs to handhold y'all going to the basket literally. Like, Orlando Robinson's trying to go for a rebound, and basically Jeremy Sohan's holding one of his hands so he can't get two hands on the ball and he can't rebound it. And meanwhile, Kevin Cutler's seeing that right there in front of him. He doesn't call jack shit. What are you supposed to do about that? I mean, there's a lot of handsy physical stuff that's going on out on the court where the refs are not calling anything hardly at all anymore. That's just how it is. It's a strong man's game. You got to be very, very strong, and you got to finish through the contact and just execute the shots because you ain't getting the line. And if you don't have the strength to finish through the contact, you're screwed in this NBA. I'm telling you right now. Yeah, Jonathan, 3 for 9. He missed both his 2 3-point attempts. He did get 10 rebounds, which is really good. 4 offensive, 4 assists, 1 steal, 1 block, 1 turnover, a minus 31. One of the worst plus minuses on the team, along with Orlando Robinson at minus 31. 6 points for him. Garrett Temple came in for 3 minutes and missed a shot, basically. That's all he did. Orlando was 2 for 6. He hit his only 3, which was awesome to see. 6 rebounds, 2 turnovers, a minus 31 with 5 points. And then Jacoby, which was a real surprise. Jacoby Walter returned from injury, finally got back out there. And you know what? He was not totally right yet. And he shot a little weird, but he was doing active stuff. And Michael Grange after the game was Blue Skies was saying that he's really impressed with the contact initiation that Jacoby seeks when he's on the court, that he's a hard-nosed player. He just came back from injury, and he's only, 6'5", 180 pounds is what he said. And this man's going to find contact with anybody who he's playing against. And Michael Grange is impressed with that. So he's a big Jacoby Walter fan. 25 minutes for Jacoby. He shot 3 of 12, which is really bad. 2 of 6 from 3. He made both his free throws, though. 3 offensive rebounds, 4 assists, 1 turnover, minus 29 for Jacoby with only 10 points in 25 minutes. It was tough, man. It was tough. In some ways, the combination of the rotations was not steady and steadfast. If I would say this, the Raptors in alternate universe is not tanking. They would put out their best starting lineup and they would play at a higher level and they wouldn't let the game disintegrate into the pile of crap that it was so early in the game. I'm just saying, man, you're going to start Castleton. You're going to have a certain level of dysfunction on the team in the middle of the court because in some ways he's new. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. It's kind of like if you play Yak, you're going to win. Well, if you play Castleton, he's going to be confused. And there may be a lot more turnovers and weird stuff happening on the court. And that's part of it. That really is part of it right there is that, I would have been more comfortable with O-Rob starting because he is not making as many mistakes at this point. So I don't know. We're going to have to see what they decide with Colin today because it is the 10th day of his second contract. And, well, the decision has to be made today. We'll have to see what happens. But, yeah, on the other side, let me give some props to some of the Spurs. Specifically, Devin Vassell. Wow, that guy was unstoppable. And he was shooting like bank shots. He was dunking the ball. He was hitting threes. He was scoring at all kinds of levels. And he was just really on it. He has an ugly-ass shot, too. He shoots some crooked-ass Bill Cartwright-looking shot from the side. It's so weird. 11 of 14 for Devin, the Florida State product, but plus 37 with 25 points. 3 of 6 from 3. 6 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block and 1 turnover. Yeah, he was the best player on the court last night. Definitely the best player. Julian Champagny was very, very good also. Off the bench, 6 of 9 from the field, 4 of 6 from 3, 4 of 5 from free throw, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, 1 block, a plus 26 with 20 points. Julian Champagny, very, very, very effective and good. They let Bismack start the game, which was awesome. Before the game, I saw Bismack palling around with Matt Devlin, Jack Armstrong. Everybody came say hi to Bismack Biyombo. And he got to start, so they announced his name before the game, and everybody in the crowd cheered for Bismack in the starting lineup. So it was a very friendly game. I was sitting next to a couple that was wearing one was wearing a Spurs jersey and the other was wearing a Raptors jersey. And it was just kind of like these are our favorite teams. We like the Spurs, we like the Raptors. We can't lose today. It's nice to see the Spurs come through town for their annual visit and see how they're doing. I love seeing the great Chris Paul, even if he's in a more smaller role and not as focal. It's just a joy to see him out there. It's fun to see him palling around with different people. It was interesting to see him against Shed and talking, seeing the stuff on the court with that. In some ways, it's just a fun team to watch. And yeah, Castle's really good. Castle was getting to the free throw line a lot in the first half and getting the free throw line a lot. So he was doing a lot of the stuff that Jacoby wanted to do, get 10 free throw attempts like Stefan Castle did. That's right. Sandro took over late, Sandro Mamaluk, and he went out there and kicked some butt for a little while late in the fourth. Jeremy Sohan with his fiberglass hair looked like he'd been up in the attic scrubbing his head on the insulation. Yeah, that's what that color is, right? For his hair, that's insulation pink, right? That's right. Man, you don't get too close to his hair. You might get itchy because it's fiberglass. That's right. Fiberglass hair. Yeah. Keldon Johnson looked like he was a little overweight. Like, I don't know what was going on with him. He looked a little overweight. Like he's too heavy right now. Something's wrong with that. Yeah, something's wrong with that. And then they got the youngsters out there for a little bit in the garbage time late. Jordan McLaughlin, Malachi Brannon, and Blake Wesley. But yeah, very interesting team, the Spurs. And of course, they were missing their two best players, Victor Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox. And man, I can see the real promise for next year. Real promise. Now, they were big last night to us, but in some ways, against some of the top Western teams, they are small against them. I worry about how this team would do against a team like the Grizzlies with certain players like Zach Edey and really tall, sizable players. The Houston Rockets, another team that's pretty big, along with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and maybe even you could say the Denver Nuggets in some ways are big in some ways. So, but the Spurs were big against us last night, and they dominated the paint and kicked our ass. They beat us in almost every category as a team. They really did. I mean, we were down by 20 after the first quarter, which is messed up, man. 36-16 after one. That's horrible. Yeah, we shot 38%. They shot 48%. We did get more shots than them, so we were hustling. 3-pointers, we got outshot there. Free throws, they got way more free throw attempts than us, and that could be blamed on Tom Washington and James Capers. Like, seriously, they showed so much favor to the other side, giving them so many fouls, touch fouls, and meanwhile, we are getting hammered and hit, and there's nothing being called. Seriously, nothing being called. And they got 32 free throw attempts. We only got 13. So, I mean, seriously, y'all. I mean, if we're going to lose, we might as well lose. And in some ways, Capers and Washington, they're helping us. They were helping us last night, even though after the game, and people were like mad and boo, there was nobody booing, but there were people that were upset. And I know Monique was probably upset, and she's like shaking her head about, man, this is so bad. But in some ways, we set ourselves up for this. We really did. We really, really did. The rebounds were even, at least 46-46. So were the assists, 27-27. They got way more stocks, though. And the turnovers were bad. 22 turnovers for the Raptors, only 14 for the Spurs. And the points in the paint, they won 50-46. Yeah, it's just bad. 21 fouls on the Raptors, only 14 called on the Spurs. Yeah, that ref report is undefeated. I can tell y'all when we're going to get some shiesty-ass refs. And, well, we did. It's cool to see different people palling around with the refs before the game, though. Scotty does have the respect of the refs at this point. When they're doing the ball check before the game, they send one of our representatives and somebody from the other team to go and look at the game balls. And they kind of inspect them and feel them and bounce them around a little bit, see if they like them. And they kind of tell Tom Washington and James Capers Jr. which ball they would prefer to play the game with. And well, Scotty was doing that before the game last night, talking to them, and it seemed like they really liked him. Like they were the energy that I was seeing and the facial expressions and the camaraderie and the talking back and forth. It seems like they're getting to know who Scott is. He's getting more established as a face of the league. And it seems like there is a genuine respect for what Scotty does on a basketball court from people like Tom Washington. So that's good. That's a very, very good thing. And this is the kind of shit that you're going to get on the Raptors Freak channel. The inside stuff. I go to the game, I'm looking at all kinds of stuff, all kinds of crazy stuff, goofy stuff. Because there is always goofy stuff going on at Raptors games. Really, really is. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Trevor's saying Scotty hit 2,000 rebounds, fastest to do it in Raptors history, plus 1,000 assists. He's the only one from 2021 draft with 4,500 points and 2,000 boards. Yeah. Not Evan Mobley. Evan Mobley hasn't done this, Trevor? What? No Franz Wagner? No, he hasn't done this either. Josh Giddey? Nah, really? Wow, wow. Maybe he was supposed to be Rookie of the Year. NBA fans that think that he shouldn't have won it. Maybe he was supposed to be. Smith saying, I'm really sorry you witnessed that, Lex. Well, there was a couple things that made up for it. First of all, I got to spend the day with Adriana, which is absolutely a joy for me. I don't see her very often. And it was nice to go to Real Sports and have a nice meal with her and kick back and just Adriana and I are a fun team together. We really enjoy time together. And then it was very, very, I was honored. Let's just put it that way, to be in the presence of greatness at the game last night with Mary J. Blige sitting at courtside. I'm like, damn, Mary J's here. And I was like, yeah, all right. I felt honored, honestly, just to be in the same building as her. So there were good things about the game. And plus, like I said, man, in some ways, I caught Scott's eye at one point. He was looking over at me, and I was like, because I was yelling defense. And I think he remembers me. But it's like even IQ and Yak were at the end of the bench kind of looking over at where the fuck is that crazy guy who's saying defense so much during a route right now? Because I did my rule. I'm going to do it either way. I don't care. It was awkward last night because obviously they weren't playing no defense. And I'm still chanting defense into the fourth quarter. And people around me are kind of like, just give it up, buddy. And I'm like, never quit, never give up is what I was saying to them. I was like, don't give up. I'm going to say defense, even if they're down by 30 plus. I don't care. But yeah, some of the people in Raptors bench were looking over at me like, who's over there doing that defense chant? In some ways, I hope I got their admiration in some ways, even though, because I'm not that far. We're like in row 7. We're not that far from the court where we're sitting. We're pretty close. They can hear me. So it was fun for me. I mean, I've been to so many Raptors games over the 30 years of their existence that I get every type of game at some point. And well, a bad route against us like this, it is what it is, Reggie. And I'm just privileged to be able to go to the game. It was awesome. And, Adriana has a certain thing worked out where we don't even pay for the tickets because she has a special program. So it's like, I'm glad I went to the game. I can watch a loss, especially when I know that's what Masai's wanting. That's right. That's right. At least there were a lot to see around that actual game. That's right. There was a lot to see. I mean, not only was Mary there, Kelly Rowland was there also. And it was very interesting because it was Pride Night and they had a halftime show by Priyanka, who is the winner of Canada's drag queen or whatever. And Adriana is a huge fan of these shows with RuPaul's Drag Race and the Canadian version up here, that she was giddy after she heard that the halftime show was going to be a drag show with Priyanka. And well, I mean, that was pretty cool. And Adriana was going crazy watching that. But yeah, it was kind of interesting. Before the show, Priyanka said, I've always dreamed. First time I came to Scotiabank Arena, Air Canada Center, was in like the early 2000s, and I saw Destiny's Child. And it made me want to go into what I'm doing now. And well, Destiny's Child, one of them was there at courtside to see Priyanka do their thing at halftime. And that must have been like a pinch yourself kind of moment. They were also saying, oh, I tried out for a dance pack and they rejected me. But look at me now, bitch. I'm fierce. And I'm on the court doing my halftime show at Scotiabank Arena for Kelly Rowland of Destiny's Child. So dreams were made last night. And of course, Mario was there too. Not Nintendo Mario, but R&B singer Mario. And I don't even know who that guy is. I knew Mary J, obviously. Mary J. Blige, hello. And Kelly Rowland, I have immense respect for her. In fact, in some ways, she's like the Mary Wells of Destiny's Child, if you know what I mean when I say that, right? She's the Mary Wells of Destiny's Child, just like with the Supremes, with Mary Wells. So, in some ways, Kelly Rowland's actually had a really good solo career, too, since Destiny's Child. if you check it out. So I was really impressed with them being there. Yeah, I was. And the halftime show was pretty good. It was good. Adriana filmed it for her sister because she's a big fan of the RuPaul show also. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Mo's here. Good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Yeah, Mo was at the game till the bitter end last night. She did, and she had a little interaction with Jonathan Mobo after the game last night. Apparently, yeah, yeah. She's saying, good morning, Raptor Free Crew. Raptors played like ass. No one awake yet. Shaking my head. Stars of the game, Jamal, J-Mo, but seriously, no one deserved it. We move. Well, yeah, it's interesting you put J-Mo as one of the stars. You're really doing that for the rebounds because, man, he really drives me nuts with the non-execution around the basket. It's just stuff that there's there in front of them, him and Castleton, and they just are weak sauce. They're not going to the rim right to make sure they finish. Now, you're saying that they weren't awake yet. Well, Darko did say this in his press conference last night after the game that the West Coast trip, first game back thing kind of got them. He was debating whether he should have them practice on Saturday or not, and they did. They had practice on Saturday, but I think that it seemed like he kind of regretted it. That in some ways he feels like the energy was really good at Raptors practice on Saturday, and they kind of went all out. And he said they had a really good practice on Saturday, but then they came out on Sunday in the Spurs game and they were flat. And he's basically kind of second guessing that he had them practice on Saturday, that he should have maybe let them have a rest day on Saturday, coming back from this West Coast trip, and let them be energized for this game. So he kind of blamed himself a little bit for this because they had practice on Saturday. So that's the interesting thing he said after the game last night, that in some ways he regretted doing practice. It's kind of crazy. Smooth saying at least it's us lottery wise. Yeah, it helps us lottery wise. And my cheers on the game turned into like, let's go lottery, ping pong balls. And then I'm starting to do Weird Al Yankovic improvisational songs with the songs that they're playing over the arena. Like they play Billy Squire's Stroke like they do for the defense chat. And I'm saying, lose it, ping pong balls, like singing to the song of stroke it. And I even did one for a car wash. And I was like, can we get Mary J out there to do like a cover of Car Wash just for fun? That would be fun. Like if Mary J. Blige just stopped the game. Hold on real quick. This game is ugly and it's not nice to watch. So I'm going to take the mic real quick. And then she says, working at the car wash. Whoa, 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 whoa. Because they play that car wash song for the defense chants. It doesn't really fit, though, because you can't really say defense during it. It kind of bugs me when they do that. Like the songs, there's three of them. They do Car Wash. They do We Will Rock You by Queen. And they do Stroke by Billy Squier. And all three of those songs don't really have good placement for the defense chant. And it annoys me. Yeah. Let's keep going. Smooth saying helps. Yep. Mo saying she's going to the Mary J concert tonight. That's the thing. Yeah, they were at the game because they're playing the arena tonight. And Kelly Rowland is opening for Mary J. So that's why they were all there, because they're all a part of the same show. I think Mario's involved too. So yeah, and Mo's going to the concert tonight. Mo's been to some amazing concerts this season. She's been going to quite a few concerts this year. So you go have fun tonight, Mo, at the Mary J. Blige concert tonight. Yeah, get some pictures and just enjoy yourself. Have the time of your life. That's right. Nako's here. Good to see Gerald Mayhew. And congratulations, Gerald, on making the Raptor Freak Fantasy Basketball playoffs. That's right. You're in the 8th seed, though. And boy, do you get that assignment against the Assassins of David's Assassins. Yeah, he's a top-notch fantasy competitor. And you have a tall order when the competition starts this week. The playoffs first round. I'm going to be playing WNBA champion 2 times over. MK, Meredith, it's you and me in the first round. And the other rounds, the matchups are Duke Rocks, original Raptor Freak fantasy champion versus Trucker Kaz. And then we also got Andrew's Shamshays, rookie of the year from last year. Andrew is going to go up against Peter Saborin, last year's fantasy champion, Peter Saborin. So we got a lot of champions, a lot of top-notch teams in this playoff, and then me and Nako. Because I ain't won nothing, and Nako hasn't either. But everybody else who's involved has won a championship in the fantasy with the Raptor Freaks. Oh, I guess Shamshays and Cass have not won either because they're newer and they just joined this year. But yeah, we've got 4 former champions involved in our Raptor Freak fantasy basketball playoffs, and Jason Dukes, the Saborin brothers, and Meredith. Those are top notch, badass fantasy managers. They're no joke, seriously. So good luck, Nako. Good luck. Yikes. He's saying, Lordy, Lordy, what a performance by Jamal Shed that first quarter. Matt Devlin hitting us with the knees are heavy. The knees are heavy. Yeah, of course, I didn't hear the announcing of the game for the most part, but Matt Devlin was funny. Before the game, he was screwing with Kayla Gray and Josh Lundberg. They do their little setup at the end of the court, and Matt came over, and he's all loose, and he's kind of like with his suit on. He kind of walks like this. He's feeling good. He comes over and he like grabs a mic from Lundberg or something. I don't know, and he was like messing with Kayla Gray and the phone, and I think it's because he's hooked on TikTok now. Like Kayla Gray unleashed a monster, obviously, because I think that now he's all about Kayla. Let's do another TikTok. And he comes over and he's got the phone out, and Josh is standing to the side of him, like with this shit-eating face. Like he's kind of like, what is he doing? Like, why is he here right now? And Kayla's like standing there, and they're in their spot, and they're gonna go live again soon. And they were sweating because Matt Devlin's like trying to do a TikTok before they come on the air. And I could tell Josh Lundberg was pissed, but they got him out of the way just in time. And Matt Devlin's just checking y'all's professional cards to see, are y'all pro enough to deal with Matt Devlin, chaos agent, TikTok phone connoisseur? And I will mess with you right before you do your live spot. That shit was funny. And then Akil Augustine had a crazy day yesterday. Holy crap, Akil. I was actually pretty impressed with what Akil was doing. Before the game, we're walking around the arena, and I have a ritual where I, for good luck, like to do a lap around the whole entire building. I'll walk around the whole entire building at least once before I come in for the game. And well, I was walking by it, and out front they had a basketball hoop set up by the statues that are the column statues. And Akil was administrating it. And it's basically they were taking people from around the crowd outside waiting to come in, and they were having shooting competitions on a little hoop. Well, Akil is out there doing this shooting thing and hosting it, but he also has to do the courtside report before the game and pregame. So this man was running from outside the building into the building, down the stairs, changing clothes real quick because he's wearing athletic gear outside, and then putting on a sweater real quick on there. And you could tell he's sweating. And then coming out of the court and doing some segment with Eric Smith, talking about the game, pregame. And then he went back and took the clothes back off, put the athletic gear, and ran back outside and did it some more outside. It was weird, man. Akil was running all over the place, trying to do his job last night because he was double duty. He was administrating a shooting game outside the arena while he was doing the pregame courtside reporting. Very impressive, Akil. Very, very impressive. And in some ways, I could see you sweating, though. I could see you sweating and running up and down the court. The security guys were really helping him. They knew what he was doing, and they were like launching him through. They're like, and they'd yell at everybody, get out of the way. Akil's coming. And they running up the stairs to run back outside. I'm telling you, man, this is the Raptor Freak inside stuff. You ain't going to get this nowhere else. That's right. You ain't going to get this nowhere else. That's right. Smooth saying Mary J looks great for her age. She's got to be pushing 60. All right. I don't know how old she is. In some ways, I'm not trying to ask how old Mary J. Blige is. No. I'm smarter than that. I know you get slapped for that. So does somebody want to go look it up and put it in there? I don't want to do it. But yeah, she's got to be up there. And she does new music still. Like she's having videos come out pretty regularly still. So yeah, she's still a queen and at the top of her game and still doing what she does. That's right. Most saying cool to see Kelly Rowland last night. Yeah, she has so much talent. Kelly Rowland is amazing. Honestly, she has so much talent. Beyonce obviously has all the luster and the gold and the top notch. But in some ways, man, I'm telling you, Kelly was the one who's the real talent on Destiny's Child. In some ways, I'm telling you. In some ways, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. G saying at least Canada beat USA in soccer. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Good job, Canada, beating USA. I like that. I like the sound of that. Monique saying, I saw Jonathan leaving the arena last night. He said hi to me, guys. Nice, quick moment. Nice. Nice. Yeah, that's kind of what happened with me and IQ. It was weird, man, because he's about the same height as me, and I'm like 6'3", 6'4", and I was surprised at how tall he was when he's up close to me. Because on the court next to 7-footers, you look real short, but he's actually got a pretty good height for himself compared to me when I'm standing next to him. But yeah, we're just passing on a bridge, like a little skywalk out of the Scotiabank Arena, and I recognized him right away. I was like, IQ. Most people weren't noticing him because they, in some ways, if you're not really paying attention, somebody like him with his height isn't that observable. But I'm really good at pointing out when Raptors are near me. So it's like, IQ, what's up, man? You and Yak, if you had played, y'all would have won, is what I said to him. And he was like nodding his head. He kept going. But in some ways, I was like, man, if I had noticed he was coming, I could have been ready and I could have maybe taken a picture with him. That would have been awesome. But alas, not that fast thinking. But it was cool to have a little encounter with him and just kind of say something to him real quick. It's always fun when the Raptor freaks are kind of around the arena after games, and we have little occurrences with people. Like Sue was in the elevator with Chris Boucher that one time. So it's always cool for us to interact with the players in weird situations. And yeah, and like I said, I talked to Leo last night too for a sec. Let's see. Cool Cat saying, "Good morning, Raptor Freak crew. The road wear and tear effect. It happens." Yeah, Darko's saying, this is a normal thing after a West Coast road trip. The time change, you go and you come back home, and there's a natural, it's like any time you go on a vacation. Think about it. You're gonna go on a long 2-week vacation or a week vacation. You come back home, and sometimes you need a vacation from your vacation because you're just so like, oh, I'm back home finally, and I could just rest. Oh, and you let your guard down. That's kind of the effect of this. That your first home game back from a long road trip is sometimes a let your guard down kind of game. And that was evident last night. That's for sure. Yeah. Super fan is saying this. Let me see. Where's Cool Cat? I got to make sure I get there. Happy game day. I'll keep saying it. I want to win, even though jerks want us to lose. Well, I mean, not all of us are jerks. Some of us are just people that want good things for the Raptors in the future. And seriously, because you're calling me a jerk when you say this, because I do want us to lose at this point. Because Monique, there's nothing gained from winning right now. There really isn't. The wins are hurting us if we win. Seriously, we have to try and get below Philadelphia and Brooklyn. And you know what? We're behind on that already. So I mean, you can call us jerks, but we're having the best intentions for next year and the year after that. This year's a wash. This year's garbage. This year we can crumple it up and throw it out. And that's why I don't care if we lose for the rest of the year, because in some ways it suits us better if we do. And you can call us jerks if you want. Fine, I'm a jerk. But I do want us to lose now. And the reason why is because it's better for us. It's better for us. Yesterday, I was at the Real Sports, and the Baylor Duke game was on at the same time. And I was paying attention to Cooper. I was paying attention to Common and Canoopel. I was really sad that Baylor didn't put up more of a fight. It seemed like, and VJ Edgecombe was in that game too. Yeah, in some ways, I see some of the stuff that people are saying about Cooper, but also I'm like, yeah, it's still hype. It's overblown. But yeah, I see what they're saying. And Common was very good too. I really like Common. Common was playing very, 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 very good. Yeah. Kaloy's here. Morning, Lex and Phila Freaks. Good morning to you, Kaloy. And G saying, no Yak, no win. I think they have won 2 or 3 games max without Yak. This is true. This is true. I think they've won like 2 games exactly without Jakob in the lineup. You take Yak out and you're really hurting yourself for winning. Really, really. And that's on purpose. And that's true. I mean, you could look at everything that went wrong in the game last night, and if Yak is in there, he fixes it. Basically, like, all right, they were scoring on us at the basket as they wished. Well, Jakob stops that. We're not getting any baskets in our basket, near the basket on the other end, because they're doing it. Well, Jakob can score on them. I mean, it's that simple. I was telling IQ, if you and Yak had played, you would have won. But I really meant more if Yak had played for sure. Because in some ways, IQ would help, sure. Because you know what we got in trouble with too, which was crazy because we haven't had this problem all year. We got in trouble with the backup point guard last night. We've been fudging it and letting RJ play backup point guard. Garrett Temple comes out and plays backup point guard. But because IQ was out and Shed started, we had a very bad period when the Shed came out. there was no guidance of like point guard leadership. And they actually brought Scott back in to try and make up for it at that point to be the backup point guard because there was really bad organization. And I don't want to see the Raptors playing two-man game of Mobo and Robinson. What are y'all doing, man? When there's Barrett and Walter are out there at the same time, don't be doing two-man game Jonathan Mobo or Orlando Robinson on one side, like give and go shit. When you have RJ Barrett and Jacoby Walter out there, let them go give and go the two-man game. Because that man, Robinson Mobo two-man game is not good. It's not good. It's not connecting and doing things right, and it's turning the ball over. And that was bugging me. That was bugging me. Seriously. That was definitely bugging me. Yeah, no yak, no win. That's just the way it is. And that's the signal right there, Mo. Don't get mad at me. You don't see Jakob Poeltl playing and he's healthy. Know that is them trying to lose. They don't play Poeltl. They're trying to lose. It's just the damn truth. Let's see. Fiercely saying, good morning, fam, and happy Monday. Just slightly annoyed we lost in front of my R&B legends, Mary J, Kelly, and Mario. I mean, I get y'all have honor. Y'all have this honor, and you're like you don't want to be embarrassed. You want this and that. I get that. But in some ways, everything's out the window right now. Everything's out the window. In some ways, they were there because of the concert tonight. In some ways, this was just a bonus. The Raptors and Scotiabank Arena were like, we really like you to come to the Raptors game tonight. Oh, we'd love to. Yeah, free tickets. We'll put you at courtside. Yeah, and if you don't mind, we'll put you on the camera. Oh, I'd love to do that. I'd love to come to the game. It's not like they're putting them out or anything. They're there already, and it's an add-on. It's a perk. So, it is what it is. In some ways, Mary J's probably a smart enough basketball fan to understand what the hell's going on right now. That, these teams are tanking. I understand what's going on right now. She probably understands what's going on. The other thing is the Spurs are the team that is just above us in the standings. This is the thing. We lose to the Spurs is a good thing yesterday because we beat them, and all of a sudden we're above them in the standings, and we go from 7th to 8th in the standings. Seriously. The Spurs are that close to us. And in some ways, us losing to the Spurs was more important than any of these other teams because they're actually just right near us in their record. And we don't need to be flipping past them just like we did with Brooklyn and Philly recently. Seriously. I mean, everything. This is an opposite world, Monique. This is a logical world. This doesn't make any sense. We don't need to have Mike here anymore. There's no logical Raptors fanatic. It's a logical Raptors things happening. Logical. They don't just make sense. They are not for our nature. They are not for who we are in truth. This is a weird upside down world where the United States is not a democracy. It's a fascist oligarchy. And the Raptors have to lose because that's their best interest. It's just an upside down world, upside down day. That's right. That's just how it is at this point. Fiercely saying, reporters mentioned Scotty's accolades, but he didn't seem to care. He just wants to win. Yeah, you don't care. You don't give a shit. He's like, okay, what do you want? It's like that. It reminds me of that one time I told Scott I was proud of him. And we're on Twitch, and Scott, it's after his rookie year. Scotty Barnes, Twitch family, 2022. And I said, Scotty, I'm proud of you. And Scotty said this to me. He said, Raptors Freak, why are you proud of me? Why are you proud of me? It's like, I'm just proud of you, man, because you're on my team and you're good. Why are you proud of me, man? That's what he said to me. I was like, what? Why can't we be proud of you, Scott? And then he was like, also around that time, he was saying, somebody in Germany knows who I am. I mean, in some ways, Scotty just comes really innocently into his fame as an NBA player. He's like, why do people in Germany know who I am? Dude, you're an NBA rookie of the year, bro. Of course they got to know who you are. There's NBA fans in Germany. He's like, he just wasn't getting it in some ways. In some ways, he's very innocent in that way. And, well, he's innocent in this way that he's not self-serving. It only gives a shit about his own stats, obviously. That's for sure. It's not like that. Most saying, Lex, you're right. If Yak and IQ played last night, we show fight. Yeah, we at least hold off Bismack off the baskets. I mean, I was just saying to myself, I'm like, don't let Biyombo kill us. We love Biyombo. I love Bismack. And Bismack was going off on us. It's kind of crazy to see Bismack at his age right now. And he kind of was out of the league for like a year. And the Spurs brought him in, and he's finding new life all of a sudden right now. But yeah, him getting a bunch of baskets near the basket would not happen if Pirtle's in there. No, no. Bismack ain't scoring what he's scoring last night. Sandro, all those motherfuckers going inside the lane. They ain't doing jack shit if Jakob Pertl's out there. None of that. That's right. I wanna be dun, dun, your Austrian hammer. Dun, dun. Why don't you call on his name, Darko? Ah, we want the Austrian hammer. Why don't you call on his name? That's right. To Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer. That's right. That's right. That's right. Fiercely saying, speaking of winning, my daughter's team has won the regionals and will represent the Alto. Okay, I don't know that region at Quebec provincials in mid-April. Thank you for the positive vibes, fam. Yes, yes. Fiercely Salsera Jr. has advanced in the rounds and won the regionals. That's awesome. I love that so much. Keep us abreast and updated on the success of Fiercely Salsera Jr. on her basketball journey. Yes, we are always rooting for her and giving her the good vibes. That's right. That's right. Most saying good to see Jacoby return. I was shocked. I was shocked when I saw him because I didn't see Trevor say it in the chat. When I got to the arena, I'm sitting down and I saw Jacoby in the warmups. I was saying he's going to play. He's going to play. He wouldn't be in warmups if he wasn't actually going to get back out there and play. So I was very happy to see Jacoby back and back out there. That's fantastic. I was very, very happy about that too, for sure. Yeah. And Monique saying 905 are toasted, man. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We'll do that. There's my cue. Producer is saying 905. Talk about it, Lex. Do I have to? I will. I didn't see the game because I was driving around, but I did watch the highlights and I did catch a gist of what was happening. The Raptors came out really strong and were winning after the first quarter, 39-32 over Capital City Go-Go. But honestly, this is them being scrappy and going at them with a lesser team against a very talented Capital City Go-Go team. And I mean, they had 8 really strong players in their team yesterday. Meanwhile, we're starting Lacey James. I'm sorry. And that's just not going to cut it. Now, AJ Lawson did return to the 905, and also Jared Rhoden was healthy and played in this game. My stars of the game for the 905 game are number one star is Jared Rhoden, who got 30 points in his return to the lineup, 10 of 22 shooting, 3 of 8 from 3, 4 of 4 at the free throw line, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 1 turnover, a minus 18. Jared Rhoden, 30 points in 37 minutes. That's good. He showed back up and he's healthy. Now, like I said, he'll probably stay with the 905 for these last 2 games. And then after that, both him and Lawson will return to the Raptors and play the rest of the Raptors season after March is over. So that's what I'm seeing is probably going to happen. The second star of the game for the 905 loss to Capital City Go-Go for me is Kennedy Chandler. Chandler off the bench has been efficient with his offense. He's been playing better. He's not playing very like team oriented still, but at least he's playing this off the bench backup point guard that scores, gets points for them. And he was 6 of 11 from the field, 2 of 3 from 3, hit his only free throw, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, a minus 6 with 16 points in 29 minutes. Kennedy has been playing solid off the bench, but he's still not the type of player I want around my team, because he is a selfish player. He is a selfish player. The last star of the game for me was Tyreek Key. Tyreek got hit and put on the ground and hurt himself pretty bad. They hit him in the face. He's had a tough year. He started really, really well. He's been pretty bad throughout the middle, but he's come on stronger lately when getting more minutes. Off the bench in 24 minutes, he was 3 of 5 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals, 1 turnover, minus 13 with 12 points in 24 minutes. He's just in there hanging and trying and doing what he can. And in some ways, I just want to applaud him for that. Honorable mention to Evan Gilliard, who did not shoot well. 5 of 12, 1 of 3 from the field, 3 of 3 at the free throw line, 5 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, a minus 29 with 16 points. AJ Lawson, really, really bad with his shot percentage, 6 of 22. 2 of 11 from 3, 3 of 4 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 1 steal, 3 turnovers, a minus 16 with 18 points. Other starter was DJ Jeffries. So they started DJ Jeffries and Lacey James, both players from the player pool. And that's what I'm saying. And the other side had guys that were two ways and rookies that are really good for Washington. So yeah, DJ Jeffries 2 for 4. Well, he hit his only three, 2 rebounds, 2 steals, 5 points for him. And Lacey James 2 for 7, missed both his threes. Got 16 rebounds though, 2 assists, 3 steals, 4 blocks. But he did almost foul out. 5 fouls this time. He didn't foul out this time though. 4 points for Lacey. So yeah, 4 points for Lacey, 5 points for DJ out of the starting lineup. And we just can't keep up with their scoring. Tyler Perry off the bench, 8 minutes. He was a goose egg, didn't take a shot, got an assist and a rebound. And then Quinn, the new player, Quinn Cisnaski, he got 6 minutes of play. He only took one shot and missed it, got an assist. So a really paltry scoring from the team overall. They just don't have nobody. And yeah, did you notice I didn't name Eugene Omoruyi here? That's right, because he wasn't available yesterday. He was out. He was hurt. And Charlie Brown Jr. is out too. And not only that, they didn't have Quincy Guerrier either. So you going to tell me 905 scraping the bottom of the barrel. They ain't got Shamshe. They ain't got the J Rooks. They ain't got Colin Castleton. But they do have AJ Lawson and Jared Rhoden. But they don't have Eugene Omoruyi, Frank Kaminsky, Charlie Brown Jr., Quincy Guerrier. Yeah, they're missing half their team half the time. And what do you expect them to do when they're going up against, honestly, this is a starting five for the Capital City Go-Go. Jalen McDaniels, Leaky Black, Kyra Lewis Jr., Mohamedou Gay, and JT Thor. And all those guys have had NBA minutes in the last year. And then we got guys from the player pool, Lacey James and DJ Jeffries going up against these guys. And the 3 guys off the bench for the Capital City Go-Go, also very good. Taylor Funk is a great shooter. Chase Jeter, of course, from college. And Eric Stevenson, who's absolutely been balling whenever he plays the Raptors 905 this season, killing us. So, yeah, they just tore us up. JT Thor, the leading scorer for the Capital City Go-Go with 31 points, 9 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 blocks. He was on fire from 3, 5 of 8. And Mohamedou got a double-double, 12 points and 15 rebounds, 5 assists. Yeah, they were killing it. They did really good. Eric Stevenson off the bench, 20 points on 7 of 9 shooting, 5 of 7 from 3. And Jalen McDaniels even went off and got a double-double. 7 of 14 shooting for Jalen McDaniels, 4 of 7 from 3, 6 rebounds, 10 assists for Jalen, 1 steal, 18 points. So, yeah, these guys, these former Raptors getting double-doubles on us. Mohamedou Gay and Jalen McDaniels having a big game against the Raptors 905 yesterday. So that is what it is. 905 don't have the talent. They don't have the size, and they're getting their butts kicked. They come out scrappy. They are competing in the first half. They may even have the lead at halftime, but they run out of juice by the end of the game, and they don't have size, and they just can't go the whole 48 against these other G League teams and compete fully. So it's just how it is. 2 more games, Long Island Nets, and then 1 other game on the weekend against Delaware Bluecoats. And they done. They'll be done by Saturday. So I think they got a game on Wednesday, and then they got a game on Saturday, and that's it. 905 are done. 2 more games. That's it. That's it right there. Yeah. Fiercely saying yesterday was turnover parade. Yeah. Yeah. Despite us helping the Spurs big time, I enjoyed watching them play, their cohesiveness. I would say, like us, their record doesn't indicate how good they are. Yeah. Yeah. And I was saying this yesterday at the game. I want to see both these teams in the playoffs next year. Yeah. I want to see both the Spurs and the Raptors as playoff teams next year. And I think they will be with good health. I think they will be with good health for sure. Most saying fans leave early in the fourth in times like this. Yeah, there was a very seismic shift of fans leaving the game after the third quarter. Third quarter ended and everybody left. Half the crowd left at the end of the third quarter. It didn't stay around for the fourth. I stayed right up until the end. And I told Adriana when the game was like that, I said, well, at least traffic's not going to be as bad because more people are going to leave earlier and get out of here sooner. But yeah, I hauled ass. I got out of there really crazy driving, got Adriana to her house in like 40 minutes. It was actually insane because I drove from Scotiabank Arena to the zoo in like 40 minutes, which is absolutely insane. And then I got home myself not that long after 10 o'clock, which is actually really freaking impressive considering. I mean, the game was at 6 and the game got over around 8:30. But the fact that I could get home in 90 minutes with dropping her off in Scarborough and get the hell all the way out here was actually pretty impressive. I was hauling ass though. I drive that truck so crazy in the night when I'm in the countryside. The road is open and empty. Yeah, I get to flying. It's like a magic carpet ride. That's right. But yeah, I stayed up until the very end too. And even though it seemed like I got back so quick, I was because I was driving like a madman. That's right. It's crazy. Wayne saying, "Morning, Raptor freaks. Raptors have gotten the memo from front office. I rarely leave games, and I had to do it yesterday. Not advocating, but we might see Ingram for at least a lesser game before the season's out. I love that. I love that. I want to see Brandon. I want to see Brandon just a taste, just a little tease, just a little appetizer of what the main enchilada is going to be next year with Brandon Ingram on our lineup. Oh, I want to see this, Wayne. You were at the game too and you left early. Oh, I understand. Some people want to do other things. You know, I'm glad the game was earlier in the evening at 6. It's much more manageable for me to get home at a decent time. You know, if that game's at 8 or at 7, well, I don't get home till midnight is basically what happens. Yeah. Well, it's good to see that we had a lot of Raptor freaks in the house, along with Mary J. That was cool. Fiercey saying the broadcast also mentioned impressive stats about Shed. Our front office is amazing at discovering gems. Yeah, he's a keeper. And that's why I say we don't need to draft a point guard. You know, I was watching VJ Edgecombe yesterday, and I was like, I wasn't that impressed. I mean, he wasn't doing enough to help Baylor in that situation with Duke. So let's go to the Instagram stories real quick because this does have something to do with things right here. First of all, Lindsey Dunn was wearing a really crazy Raptors jacket. And she's saying on the 905 broadcast, we share clothes. And clearly Warren Ward wore it better. Yeah, because he wore her jacket too for a little bit. I don't know, Lindsey. Y'all both look good in the jacket. It may just be that the jacket looks good. And it has nothing to do with either one of y'all. I might say that. Yeah, I might say that. There she is at I guess this is at the Raptors game last night, wearing a nice little outfit and with her friend. And they just had to get a photo together. I don't know. Okay. All right. And there she is reporting. Lindsay's doing great this season. Yuta Watanabe is celebrating a friend of his getting 7,000 total points. Okay. That's a big deal. That's pretty cool. RJ Barrett is celebrating Cooper Flag and Common and Canuple getting to the Sweet 16 with Duke yesterday over Baylor. I'm wondering if there was a little bit of shit talking there. I'm sure there is on the Raptors team. You know, there's different teams that have been playing different, squads and putting them out. And well, last night it was RJ's Duke Blue Devils and Brandon Ingram's taking out the Baylor guys, Jacoby Walters' team, because Baylor's out now. You know, and the other day when Houston played, they played Gonzaga and put them out. And that would have been Jamal Shed talking trash to Kelly Olynyk if Kelly was still on our team. So, yeah, the ties that bind the players to their college alma maters and March Madness is always a fun time in the locker room. I'm sure there's private bets that are made between people and just general shit talking on the plane when this is going on, as far as like Houston versus Gonzaga and Duke versus Baylor and stuff like that. Oregon being involved in the tournament also for Chris Boucher to talk trash, stuff like that. Jamison Battle and Jonathan Mobo. Finally, I've been waiting for this. They got the Masked Men duo, the rookie J Rooks, the Masked J Rooks. This is a subset of the J Rooks. They will always be forever known as the Masked duo between Jonathan Mobo and Jamison Battle because they're both wearing masks right now. But yeah, vengeance is what they're saying. And that's pretty funny. They got a picture of them both in the mask on Raptors Official. And these guys are putting them on blast themselves, Jonathan and Jamison. I love that. Matt Devlin's showing up to work. And the first thing he does when he shows up to work, he gets his fisherman's friend out of his bag. That's right. Oh, there it is. There's my fisherman's friend that keeps these pipes nice and clear so that I can do an exceptional job that I do for the broadcast of the Raptors. I love it. I love it. There you go, Matt Devlin, with your fisherman friend ad stuff. There's the Masked Men again on Jonathan's Instagram. Jamison and Jonathan, the Masked Men. There's Jonathan dunking it in the game last night. Jamal Shed got his career high yesterday, 17 points. And he's got that put on blast on his Instagram. Of course, the JYD did have the book signing, the book opening on Saturday. Jamal McGlure came down there, and it's called Role Player, and it's about taking all the opportunities that come in front of you in your life. A really, really cool book that JYD has written. And yeah, y'all check it out. Y'all check it out. JYD doing that. Also, there was a basketball game, y'all, this weekend that Jamal McGlure was involved in, and I noticed in Jamal's pictures that another former Raptor was involved in this basketball game, and that would have been Michael Bradley. Michael Bradley, former Raptors pick, back in Toronto, playing in some sort of like rec game because there were like ordinary people playing in it too, and it was like Jamal and Michael were the two former NBA players that were involved, kind of on each team. So very, very interesting to see Michael Bradley with Jamal McGlure playing basketball this weekend, because we don't really think about Michael Bradley very often, do we? No, we don't. No, we don't. We don't think about Michael Bradley very often, if at all. And he is a part of our 30-year history, that's for sure. Yeah, NBA Courtside Restaurant on Saturday was a blast for role player book signing with JYD. There you go. Jared Roden celebrating his 30-point game against the Capital City Go-Go yesterday. Too bad they lost, but happy he's back from injury already. That is a good thing. Him and Jacoby coming back from injury yesterday. Very, very, very good. Let's see who else we got. 905 the Raptors got some post about him throwing the ball up in the air. The Raptors always funny. Raptors pretty good at the game yesterday, and he really talks to everybody before the game. It's interesting. He's friends with everybody. There he is with Kelly Rowland. He's like kissing her hand. It looks so good. There he is bouncing up and down on his inflatable outfit where he bounces on his head. Very, very goofy. He's going to stay like that the rest of the game, he's saying, because they were upside down. And there he is accosting Mary J. Blige. Raptor, do not bother Mary J., please. Here's Masai signing a poster for We the North movie poster. And of course, that was the event that he did with Simu and Kyle Lowry recently. And in fact, Masai, and this may be foreshadowing, guys, Masai Ujiri in his Instagram stories has a picture of him and Kyle Lowry up right now. And it's Masai talking to Kyle. I wonder if, he's saying, you come back next year and play for the Raptors next year. Get out of Philadelphia and come back to Toronto, Kyle Lowry. Maybe. I don't know. Masai, are you doing some foreshadowing for us? Don't tease us with the GROAT. If the GROAT's coming back, let the GROAT come back, is what I'm saying. But Masai, I'm just saying, Masai Ujiri has posted in his Instagram stories in the last 24 hours a picture of him and Kyle Lowry. I don't know, Brian Winders. I don't know. Kelly Olynyk with a three-pointer on his Instagram stories. Trey ball, KO, bam. Let's see what else. Lloyd is celebrating. Some people got married. It looks like they got married. Somebody got married. And let's see. Hello, Jack. It got a birthday cake or some sort of cake. It's like a hello there, Jack Armstrong cake. And he was at some sort of event yesterday. He was speaking. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, pretty cool cake, though, Jack. I like that. And then Charles Oakley is celebrating his wife. Angela Oakley is on the Basketball Wives show now. So if y'all want to know more about Charles Oakley in a very seedy, trashy reality TV show way, watch Basketball Wives, because Angela Oakley is now one of the Basketball Wives on the show. So Charles Oakley is vicariously on that show, just so y'all know. She was apparently on Watch What Happens Next with Andy Cohen. Yeah, she was on there, and Charles was putting her on blast for that appearance. So that's what's going on there. There's Norman Powell playing for the Clippers, so we knew that. And the 905, let's see. Slim Duck, he did post some stuff yesterday. He's playing Smooth Operator. Sade. Yeah, he's got a picture of him on his Instagram stories playing No Need to Ask. He's a smooth operator. Smooth operator. Coast to coast, LA to Chicago, West Indies. Yeah, that's right. Chris Boucher. He's got the Smooth Operator going and the Soldier Boy. Tell him. That's the Instagram stories there. Duke advances. RJ Barrett is happy. Duke advances. RJ Barrett's happy. And we see Masai with Kyle Lowry in the Instagram stories. What's going on there? What's going on there? Yeah. What's going on there? All right, let's see. Trevor J has brought up that Raptors Delight's final episode will be tonight after the game. That's right. The final installment of Raptors Tonight, the fourth episode, will be on after the game tonight on Sportsnet. And I'm not looking forward to it totally. It's nice to know it's the last episode. Then I won't have to anticipate another one of these pieces of garbage coming towards me. I fully expect them to sewer us on our championship and denounce it and make it cheap by saying that we wouldn't have won because the injuries to Golden State if they had been healthy. I fully expect them to fucking piss all over our 2019 championship on Raptors Delight tonight, otherwise known as the dark side of the Raptors. Now, thankfully, it sounds like this will only be for the championship up till then, and they will not cover the years after, hopefully. If they do, they are going to be assholes for doing that. Seriously. So, in some ways, end this show on the high point when the Raptors win the championship. And let's not talk about the pandemic. Let's not talk about Tampa. Let's not talk about any of the years since. How about that, Raptors delay? That would be nice. Now, one thing I noticed about the Raptors delay episode that's coming out tonight is Kawhi actually got interviewed for it. And that is very interesting to me that Kawhi Leonard actually did an interview for Raptors Delight episode. So I want to hear what Kawhi has to say about the championship run and the things that he has to say on that. That may be making it worth it just to hear that, but it probably will turn me off and make me feel like it's a piece of shit by the end of it, and I'll never watch it again after once. I'll watch it once. That's all you get, Raptors Delight. Meanwhile, Open Gym, I'll be binge watching for the rest of my life and watching those episodes just when I feel like having a pick me up. But nobody's watching Raptors Delight for a pick me up. You fucks, you dumbasses. And that guy who does the narration, man, get him the fuck away from basketball. That guy doesn't need to be doing nothing with basketball. That's right. Wayne's saying, when you play like shit, you get no calls. Surprise. The point for us now is to avoid any serious injury going into the summer. We want everyone in good stead. Lose and lose ugly. Yep. Yeah, there's an article on ESPN today. This is very interesting. There is an article basically on the front page, and they have the Raptors jersey in the picture. And I was like, oh, wait a second. Why is a Raptor in the front page of ESPN's NBA page? We see a Raptor there. It's very prominent and says, well, the article is, can the NBA fix tanking? Why it's worse this season, plus 5 solutions. So they're really tackling this. This is Tim Bontemps and Kevin Pelton with their article, and they basically go over one of these games that we had against the Wizards recently. And they're talking about how the Raptors have a stat where we have not played Scotty and RJ or any of our starters in any clutch minutes since this certain point in the year. That's a very pointed way of trying to lose on purpose when you take your best players out in clutch time of the game. And that we're playing two ways, and guys that just came in this year and guys that just showed up on the team in the last month in these clutch moments. And they're pointing this out. And basically what they say about the Raptors doing this in the article is that we can't get in trouble for it because the NBA has decided that, once you start adjudicating on what players should be playing what minutes in your rotations, that's a slippery slope. So they're not going to tell us, as long as the players are available and they play, like the thing that happened with Markkanen in the Jazz is he wasn't being made to be available, and they fined him. Well, Scotty's playing. Scotty, it's not like Scotty's sitting out on purpose. Scotty's coming in and playing games, but he's not finishing them. And what the Raptors are doing is not illegal. But the overall league is noticing all these different teams doing tactics like what the Raptors are doing, and they want to change it. And this whole article right here is kind of actually interesting because a lot of the ideas that are being presented on this ESPN article are ones that we've talked about on this channel in the last couple of weeks. How do you fix tanking in the league? And some of it is like the same odds of getting the first pick. The suggestion to after the All-Star break, the team that has the most wins after the All-Star break gets the first pick. They talked about Jack's idea from that. It's very interesting. It's very, very interesting, the stuff they're talking about in this. But I highly recommend people read this article. In fact, Monique, you should probably read it. And then it'll give you a better understanding of what the fuck is going on with the Raptors right now. And it actually goes into detail about us specifically in this article about tanking. And they also talk about the Jazz a bit about it too. And what the different way they're tanking, the way we're tanking. And, they even talk about Cooper Flagg in the article and whether he is actually worth all the tanking. But there's a serious problem because there's so many teams tanking right now, and they're tanking even further into the season. Normally, the tanking may happen in the last 2 weeks of the season in the past years, but this tanking stuff started way too early this year. And that is a big, big problem. So, yeah, definitely check out the ESPN headline article on their main page of the NBA page, because you can see Orlando Robinson in the picture. And I'm like, oh, Orlando Robinson's on the front page of ESPN's NBA page. What is it talking about? It's about tanking. It's about tanking. So go check it out, y'all. It's an article worth reading, and there's good stats on Raptor stuff, like which Raptors are playing in crunch time and clutch, and which ones aren't. And the Raptors are not playing Scotty and RJ in clutch. No, they aren't. No, they aren't. That's for sure. Wayne, you're right. The Raptors play bad like this. James Capers and Tom Washington are not going to give them whistles. That's for sure. You're right. You're right on that. Stargate saying, my concern is that this let's lose a lot mindset doesn't subconsciously carry over to next season. I know this is something, but I don't think that this is what we're trying to do. That's the thing. Once again, Darko got that question asked again last night, and basically said this: I get paid twice a month every month, like everybody else does, and I have a job, and my job is to make the Raptors better and to make sure that they do things right. Now, last night was such an ugly game, and there were really bad habits that were out on display. But this is the way Darko says: it's like, look, that's really good tape for me to fix them up and get them to not do some of the shit that they did last night. So he definitely made an emphasis on saying they're going to have some serious tape session from the game against the Spurs yesterday. And they have a lot to fix and teach to the young players that played in the game yesterday that were screwing up. So that's the whole thing with that. It's like, I get it, but you got to understand, what percentage of this year have we looked unprofessional and so bad like we did last night? And how many of these games that we played this year that we've lost did we actually put a really good effort in and we played the right way? We just didn't manage to win. There's been some routes this year, and last night was one of them. And they've been ugly and they've been really bad. But for the most part, I would say in a lot of the games we played this year, if we didn't win the games, we competed at least honorably and we played the right way, even in getting an L. So, I mean, I can see why last night would be concerning. But if you took just last night's game, yeah, you might be really worried about this team. But last night's game was not representative of the Raptors. We know that, especially when you look on the bench and you see some of those guys wearing street clothes sitting over on the bench. So James is saying, do you see Ingram being the lead scorer over RJ next season? That's a good question. I don't know if it's going to be like anything designated. I think that what's going to happen is these guys are going to do what they're supposed to do in Darko's system, and it'll just kind of be figured out night to night. Like I said, there may be a night where RJ's getting 30. There may be a night when Brandon's getting 30. There may be a night when IQ's getting 30. There may be a night when Scotty's getting 30. And it's not going to be a set quantity every single night, but different guys are going to need to step up and do stuff every single night. So I don't know. I can't predict this for sure. I would say that maybe the favorite is that Brandon will be the leading scorer for the Raptors next year, but I don't know if that's for sure. In some ways, it may have to do with more like how defenses stack up against us. Like if they want to make a more focal point is to stop Ingram, it may be that RJ scores more or vice versa. That's what I would think. It may really have to do with how the priorities are set by opposing teams next year and their defensive plans. That will determine where the water runs. The ground is high, it runs around that, right? That's right. Let's see. Stargate saying, how these young modern day athletes nowadays mentally fragile. I just hope they can shake all the losing mindset in the offseason, because losing can become contagious. Yeah, I'm not worried about this. I think that our attitude and the way we do things is sound. We just had a dog of a game last night. And in some ways, that's what's fresh in your mind. We could play tonight and we could play very, very ethically, very well. And you'll feel like totally not worried about this anymore. I would say this, listen, this is going to be the end of the season. It's going to be over. And we're going to get the summer. We're going to get all the training camp. We're getting all the time. And Darko's already talking about the offseason and plans and things that he has ideas for how he's going to implement things. So, in some ways they could be looking forward and ahead, but they're not going to take what they're doing right now with them, other than the stuff that's worth taking, that they're developing and learning for skills. So I wouldn't worry about this too much. I think that we've shown that the Raptors really play hard for Darko, and that's the thing that matters the most. That's the thing that matters the most. Let's see. Bryce is saying, "Good morning, Lex and Raptor Freaks. This was my first time ever playing fantasy basketball, and I will say it was pretty fun. You really have to be on it all year. I was hit with lots of injuries, so I lost hope halfway." Yeah, I noticed that Bryce wasn't taking care of his team as well as he was in the beginning. It is what it is. Well, I hope you'll continue to play in these leagues. We'll do this WNBA this summer, and hopefully you will be interested in doing the WNBA one. But obviously, also do the NBA one with us next year, Bryce. Yeah, Bryce's logs and cabins. Bryce's logs and cabins. Okay, I don't know why Monique deleted Stargate's comment, but I'll read it real quick. I'll read it real quick just so I can see what's up and adjudicate if it was worth getting caught. If it can backfire where these guys get accustomed to losing and become so desensitized to it, it doesn't mean anything to them if they do. They're not the same type of players as the 90s. Yeah, I'm not going to get behind this, Stargate. I think this is, listen, Scotty's press conference said it all last night. I mean, he doesn't want to look at the individual accolades. He just wants to win. And he's saying that. And once again, he's the leader, he's the figurehead. And in some ways, he's the one who also inspires the other guys to feel like they can win because he's such a badass talent. You know, it's kind of like when you have LeBron on your team or you have Michael Jordan on your team. You feel like you got a good person on your team to try and win. Well, Scotty is like that. So I get what you're saying, but we're not Philadelphia. And the culture and the way we run our organization is a winning organization. And, just because we're losing temporarily right now, and it's not really that we're losing on purpose. We are, but we aren't. It's really hard to suss out. We're not playing our best hand at the end of the game so that we lose at the end. That's basically what we're doing. But for the 3 quarters, the 3.5 quarters up until then, we're supposed to be playing correctly, playing well, playing without turnovers, playing, making shots and executing. But we didn't do that last night. So it didn't look right last night. But a lot of the games we played in these games that we lost, like the game against Golden State, we played awesome and we still lost. That was not any kind of loser mentality, what happened in Golden State. We played a very high level team to a high level and we just barely lost to them. So, I mean, I don't want you to put so much negative connotations on what's happening here and chicken little this too much because it doesn't make any sense. We have a winning mentality around our team, even if we're losing right now. And don't worry about this. If we get to next year and it seems like, oh, these guys are losers, I'd be shocked. Seriously. Think about who we got. We got Scotty and Jamal Shed. Those two guys are winners through and through, and they have a certain attitude of carrying this team into winning that will prevail over any kind of loser mentality that you're talking about, Stargate. So, yeah, think about this, man. Think about this. Those 90s players hated to lose. Yeah, well, so does Scotty. He didn't look fucking happy at all after the game last night. Scotty does not like winning. I mean, does not like losing, and he wants to win all the time. And that's the thing. He was very upset after the game. This is the thing. They were trying to tell him you did great. You got 2,000 rebounds in your career now. And he didn't give a shit about that. He only cared about losing, and he wants to win. So come on. You got to watch that press conference after. Watch that press conference, and maybe you read him different. You're like, oh, he's in his feelings. He's too upset about it. No, he doesn't like losing, and he's not happy when the Raptors lose. So don't worry about this. Seriously. Nako saying, I was injured to shit last year. I was still pretty injured this year. Apollo was out for the start. Herb, Lively, Io been out for a while. So you guys are making excuses that, oh, injuries ruined my career, my season this year. I mean, Nako, I remember that last year for you. And this year, everybody had injuries. I had injuries like crazy this year too. And I still managed to make the playoffs. So come on, man. Y'all don't make excuses. That's a loser mentality. Be winners and win. And if you beat David, I'll be shocked, Nako. If you can beat him this week, that is a huge accomplishment. Seriously. Really, really huge accomplishment. Trevor's saying Kelly is also doing a movie shoot in Toronto. Kelly Olynyk or Kelly Rowland? See, I don't know you talking about. You use these one-name answers, half-assing me. Kelly Olynyk's coming back and doing a movie shoot? That's awesome. I want to see Kelly's movie. Stargate saying, wrong, Lex. The real talent Destiny Child was LaToya Luckett, who was pushed out of the group by Matthew Knowles in order to elevate Beyonce. Everybody within the industry knows this. Well, yeah, the original girl. But I'm just saying, and I'm not wrong either. I'm saying that Kelly Rowland had a lot of talent. And in some ways, in that equation, she was like the Mary Wells, like in the Supremes with Diana Ross. It's kind of like Beyonce's Diana Ross and Kelly Rowland is like Mary Wells, and in some ways she was like, but I get it. Yeah, I remember that there was a woman that was involved in Destiny's Child that was kicked out by Beyonce's dad early on because there were 4 of them originally, right? Yeah, I remember that. I'm just bringing up Kelly because she was the one who was at the game last night. That's all. And as for Mary J. Blige, well, those in the know, but I digress. Okay, well, either way, I don't know why you're so negative today, man. You're negative about losing, and you want to tear down my image of Mary J. Come on, Stargate. Let's be more sunshiny. It's overcast in my yard right now, but I want to have sunshine from me. How about that? How about that? Let's see. Mo's saying, my bad, Stargate. Unhide him, please. My bad. My damn hands. It's all right, Mo. It's all right. You didn't mean to do that. It's all good. I read it. Let's see. G saying, don't tease us, Stargate. I need to know. Maybe on another live. Well, whatever he has to say about Mary J. Blige, I don't want to hear it because some of it, I don't know if it is. I don't know for sure what he's going to say, but it could be some misogynistic kind of bullshit or something like that. Either way, Mary J. is a successful R&B singer for a long, long time. She's a legend. And you know what? You want to ruin her for me? Seriously, Stargate? You want to try and ruin her for me? You don't need to do that. That's not fair. What did she do? Did she do something criminal? Is it some stupid thing like, oh, she slept her way to the top? That's the only way she did. I don't know. If it's some misogynist bullshit like that, I don't want to hear it. Whatever Mary J. Blige did, if people know in the know or whatever, well, she's very popular and successful still and in the public eye. So she must not have done anything that horrible. Seriously, is what I'm going to say right there. And that's the thing. That's the thing. I mean, if he wants to tell us, he could tell us. He might as well tell us. You're teasing G. He wants to know. Fiercely saying, my glorious queen of hip hop soul is 54 years old. There you go. That's not that old. That's not that old. She's only 54. That is not that old. She's like within my age range. That's crazy. Wayne saying, as previously stated, our needs are a backup for both Jakob and Shed. Any other cloud GMing is just useless yak. Useless yak, like Jakob. I mean, I don't even think that the backup for Shed is as important, but definitely the big man stuff. Definitely the big man stuff. Kaloy saying, losing right now is short-term pains for long-term gains. I hate Stank Nation, but at this point, the writing's on the wall. Yeah, we don't want to be like on this ship and being mad about it when we're just going to have to cruise to where we're cruising to because the captain, Messiah's, called the destination. That's what I keep saying to you guys. It's like, let's not fight it. Let's not get all upset because this is a very pointed decision by our front office. And that we shouldn't be, getting too emotional about games right now because this is the plan. This is the long-term game, is what Loy's saying. That's right. Duke's here. Good to see Jason Dukes, man. He's not always in the chat, but he's always been a long-time Raptor freak. And man, Jason's awesome. I got to meet Jason when I brought him his Vince Carter signed Tar Heels jersey for winning the first fantasy league. Some pretty good teams in this year's fantasy. I'm putting my money on Chomshay's team to win it all. I got smacked by his team twice. Okay. Yeah, I know Jason had a tough year this year on the download, just like you guys complain about injuries. Jason is a very good fantasy player. In fact, he was a rookie when we first started this, and he just learned how to do it. And he's a badass. And in some ways, he didn't have the best year, but he has made himself get into the playoffs, and he's in there to compete. So we'll have to see what happens. Of course, at the end of the season, there's a lot of changes with rotations and players playing. And in some ways, you got to really stay on top of what's happening in the NBA with which players are activated and playing and which ones are shut down. So that's why I love doing it this way, because in some ways you can't totally rely on what you did all season at the end of the year. And that's why this is the playoffs of fantasy basketball, because in some ways you have to ride the wave and understand. Jason, always love competing with you in the fantasy sports. And I appreciate you being here this morning. I'm going to give Jason Dukes a dunk because he's not often here with us. And I feel like I want to give him a dunk for this year. So here's your first dunk of the year. You got 3 points on the dunk charts, Jason, just for saying hi. Fiercely saying, yes, Stargate. I've heard the allegations about Mary J's involvement with P. Diddy's shenanigans, but as an artist, I grew up to her music, which was truly fire. Okay, so this is what it is. She's tied in with Puff Daddy. Oh, man. You know what Puff Daddy's becoming? He's becoming like the Black Epstein. It's like you guys, people are just going to use the name Jeffrey Epstein, and they're going to use it to denounce people. And they're just ringing. I mean, I believe this shit about Trump. Y'all are telling me that I should believe the shit about Clinton. But it's just like it's shorthand at this point. Oh, Epstein. Oh, okay. Yeah, now I know what you're talking about. So this is what it is. You guys are gonna Diddy, Mary J. You know, at some point, listen, you gotta understand, Puff Daddy, Sean Combs, was a huge entertainer around the turn of the century. He was one of the biggest fucking stars, and he had friends and everything, and everybody's coming to his parties. Everybody came to his parties. And you know what? Some of them came to the party, right? And they came to the party just to come to a normal party. They didn't come for the crazy fucked up shit that Sean was doing. And you know, some of those people came to the party and they saw that shit and they're like, "This is fucked up. I'm never coming to a Puff Daddy party ever again." You know, so it's tough. You can't suss this out completely for sure. You know, some people may have been worried about getting kicked out of the entertainment business because they pissed off Diddy. You know what I'm saying? So there could be all kinds of different people in different categories around the periphery of the P. Diddy parties. Some of them were engaged in it and awful and horrible, sure. Some of them may have saw it and they didn't like that shit. And they're like, that's fucked up. What are y'all doing? And some of them are completely innocent. And they may be like, you know what? I saw this shit, and then he threatened me. And he said, if anybody told anybody about what would happen, I'd fucking ruin their career. You know, I don't know this shit. And in some ways, we can fill in the gaps. And with the sensationalized names of Jeffrey Epstein and Puff Daddy. And that's just shorthand now for saying, yeah, this person's a weirdo and did weird sexual shit that was fucked up. That's a real easy way to just indict people in a way that's not very fair, honestly. Seriously. But I believe that shit for Trump. Oh, yeah, I do. And I do believe it for some people that were around Diddy, but I don't know what Mary J did. I don't know if she was there fully engaged. Is there blow by blow accounts? Is there some tawdry account of talking about every single thing that was seen and shit? And was she doing fucked up shit? She don't seem like she's somebody who needs to do that kind of shit for her own enjoyment in her life. She seems like she can do whatever she wants, like with men, and she wouldn't need to do anything fucked up with some other people. I mean, I don't get these allegation things, and in some ways, it pisses me off that people are just saying, "Oh, Diddy, or Epstein." This is bullshit. You know, innocent until proven guilty. And if she did something so wrong, where's the lawsuits and the things coming at her? Seriously. Seriously, we can make allegations. Oh, because she had a proximity to Sean Coombs, that she's guilty by association. We don't know this, and it's irresponsible to do this, guys. It's irresponsible. She did something wrong. She should be locked up. That's right. Mo's saying Mario was sitting in Drake's seat, y'all. That's where he was sitting. Da 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 da. Oh, cool, man. G's got his face up. Whoa. And Wayne's saying, as a defensive focused player in the future for the Raptors, Scotty's ability to get to the free throw line is in a game winning skill for us. Huge. I like that Scotty continued to build last night on aggressively going to the basket. And the test last night was tough because we saw Bismack and Jeremy Sohan absolutely stifling all the other Raptors around the basket, not allowing them anything within like 2 feet of the basket. But Scotty was still able to operate. He was doing some weird spins, man. He just one, like it looked like he actually traveled on one of them. He like did this like turn around and then he laid it up with a nice little finger roll. But at least Scotty is still effective in a very congested lane with some very big shot blocking problem defensive players. Scotty's still finding ways to score in that kind of environment, which is really good and huge. And yeah, him drawing fouls when he's getting the respect of the refs and actually getting the calls is nice for sure. Criscom's saying, are the 905 out of the playoffs? Yeah. Yeah, they fell out of the playoffs last week officially, and they continue to plummet out of the playoffs. I mean, Criscom, they started the G League season 11-3. And well, their record at this point, bro, is 13-19. They were 11-3, and now they're 13-19. You do the math. They've won 2 games and lost 16 games. So they're 2-16. They started 11-3, and they're 2-16 since. Yeah, they were at the top of the G League. They were number 1 team in the G League, and they just have fallen, plummeted. And a lot of it had to do with Ulrich Shamshay getting hurt. Stargate saying, I give the 905 a pass this season. They have been gutted. Shamshay, Shed, Mobo, Battle should have all been part of that team, but due to injuries and stuff, they weren't really available for 905 much. Yeah, Shamshay is the biggest blow. You know, bigs were tough to keep around on the team this year, and it's just how it is. And, these rookies were too good. That's part of it. Jacoby's too good. Jamal's too good. Jameson kind of did both, but he's really been too good to be down on the 905 at this point. It's tough. It's just tough. This is the way 905 and G League is. It's just really, really tough to consistently compete the whole entire Showcase Cup season and regular season. And well, with the season ends, I'm going to do a special report on the stars of the 905's year and rank and tell you exactly who was the best ones out of all the star rankings that I had. That we'll rank the 905ers for their contributions for this season. Yeah, we'll rank them. We'll see who was the best. Duke saying, weren't we in the 7th spot when we won the lottery to get Scotty? So last night on Tankathon with us holding the 7th spot, did the simulation draft, and we won the first overall pick. Let's go, Raps. See, Jason has a good point. When we got Scotty, we were 7th, and we jumped to 4th and got Scotty. Well, Jason did a Tankathon simulation last night, and the Raptors got the number 1 pick still, even though we're in the 7th spot in the rankings. In some ways, that's not what I want, but you know what? That's good sign that the chance of us getting the first pick is still pretty good at the 7th spot to a degree. Let's see. Mo's saying, Lex, many jerks want us to lose. Don't always think I'm calling you out, man. Seriously, it could mean many things. I know. Maybe I'm sensitive to it because I'm like, Mo's really mad at me lately. But in some ways, it's like I'm just going with the wave of what Masai wants. And I get it. I know the jerks you're talking about. And honestly, those aren't really even our fans. Those are people that aren't really like for the Raptors in the right way. And we know that. Some of them could be other fans masquerading as Raptors fans on social media. Some of them could be more hockey fans that are kind of like just like basketball vicariously because they're in Toronto and they like, well, the Raptors are on TV and they're supposed to be my team, but I don't really respect them on the down low. And I kind of talk trash about them. That's a very common fan, honestly. There's a lot of people that are sports fans in Toronto that like hockey more, that are more into the Leafs or another hockey team. And then the Raptors are like a secondary kind of team. And in some ways, they don't totally respect basketball or they don't totally respect the Raptors, but they are territorially a Raptor fan because they're in Canada or they're in Toronto. And that in some ways, that's the problem. You got to either be a real one like we are, or you're a half-ass fan. It's kind of like, well, the Raptors are my team because I'm from Canada, but they're not really for the team in the right way. And that's who you're talking about. You're talking about those jerks. Yeah. All right. I won't be so sensitive. Mo. Stargate saying, I didn't realize Stephon Castle was that big and strong of a dude. Yeah, he was doing the shoot around before the game. I thought he was Vassal. It was like because they have a similar hairstyle, and in some ways they're similar kind of looking guy. But yeah, he's a big dude. And I was saying to the Spurs fan next to me, I was like, he should have won the dunk contest. And I hope that Castle wins Rookie of the Year. Seriously. Because honestly, if it's not going to be Zach Edey, if Zach Edey is not going to be the Rookie of the Year for the Grizzlies, I'd like it to be Castle for Spurs. And I don't want it to be any of these French guys at the top of the draft and nobody else from any other team. If it's not going to be a Raptor, if it's not going to be Zach Edey for Grizzlies, I want Stephon Castle to be the Rookie of the Year this year. I do. And man, he was really good at getting to the line. And that's what Jacoby, in some ways, needs to study what Castle's doing with attacking and getting contact and getting the respect and getting to the line. Because, man, 10 free throw trips for Stephon Castle as a rookie, that's a lot. That man's getting free throw favoritism, but it's the way he plays. He engages in a physical way with the defense and draws the foul. So, yeah, he's very strong, very, very strong. Fiercely saying, hi, Lex. The province of Quebec is subdivided in regions such as Montreal, Quebec City, Eastern Townships, Laval. I live in Gatineau. Okay. And we're Alta. I just don't know how to pronounce that word. I get it. It's like I'm in York region. There's Durham region. There's all kinds of different regions here in Ontario. I get what you're saying here. It's just I don't know how to pronounce that word right. That's why I was skipping over that. I was like, I don't know how to say it. Let's see. Fiercely saying, not sure if Ontario has a similar structure. I know GTA, so there must be regions. Yeah, there's regions. Yeah, there's York and Durham and Simcoe region, and I think there's quite a few regions. Yeah, we do the same thing here. We definitely do. Stargate saying, I want to see Duke play Auburn. I hope they get to play each other. That Auburn team is a real team. Awesome. Yeah, I've heard Some people picking Auburn to win the tournament. Some brackets are finishing with Auburn Tigers as being the NCAA men's basketball champions for this year. So we'll have to see. That might be what happens. Maybe that's the final right there. Duke and Auburn, are they in opposite sides of the bracket? I have not paid attention to this. I did not do a bracket. I'm not watching any of the March Madness. I don't have time. I'm a Raptors freak. Let's see. And there's so much Raptors stuff going on. G saying that Derek Queen with the buzzer beater, coach asked the team who wants to take the last shot, and he said he wanted to. That's a good sign. I like that. I like that. That's one of the prospects I really like, Derek Queen, and he wanted to step up and take that shot. Okay. I like that. That sounds like good information right there. And the Stargate saying at G, of all the top big men in the draft, from my perspective, he is the only one with the highest basketball IQ. That is why I'm kind of higher on Queen than with Common. This is interesting. Well, we'll have to see how it shakes out. And maybe Bobby and Masai see what you see better too. I don't know. Common is very young, and he is kind of a project in some ways. In some ways, he would be on the timeline with Shamshay. Those guys would be coming up together next to each other because they're really kind of around the same age and they're at the same level of progress with their development, really, in some ways. I mean, Shamshay's got 1 year of G League under his belt and partly in the NBA. But what Common's doing with Duke, in some ways, they're about parallel with each other in their progress. And if we got Common, he would probably be very much gauged, kind of beside Shamshay. I could see that. Yeah, that's good news about Queen. I like that. And so you pick Queen over Common. Interesting, Stargate. Interesting. Well, we'll have to see what Bobby and Masai think. Yeah, G saying I can see that too, Stargate. He has tough mentality. There you go. Tristan Trey's in the house. Good to see Tristan Trey. Wayne saying very bad maturity of players to post their stats when their team lost. If your team lost, what good is your individual stats? Love them or hate them, LeBron doesn't indulge in the BS. Age is not a factor. Well, I mean, I want to say this though. Listen, sometimes, that kind of stuff can be good because it shows that, some of it is you're celebrating your accomplishments. Some people work so hard from a young age to become basketball players and professional basketball players. And a lot of people don't get that. They don't even make it. They don't get to this level. So in some ways, Jamal Shed posting his 17-point career high on his Instagram stories, I mean, he's allowed that. He's worked very, very hard. And, I know they didn't win. And maybe that's the opposite of Scotty's mentality after the game where he's saying, I don't care what my stats were. I just wanted to win. Because Scotty's not posting stats himself. And maybe he has that mindset that you're talking about, Wayne. But, for younger guys, especially rookies, guys who got drafted in the second round or undrafted like Jamison Battle, it's special to get to that point because nothing was guaranteed for them and nothing was for sure. And well, in some ways, it'd be a horrible world if you weren't allowed to celebrate some of your own accomplishments. I mean, I think this is a little bit too kind of tough, drill sergeant. I think this is a little too tough. It's a little too tough. Let's see. Trevor's saying, y'all are so mad and upset about Raptors losing. The front office is calling the shots and nothing we can do about it. Yeah, that's why I'm trying to alleviate this. In some ways, look, we did a really good job going against losing mentality this whole entire year. And honestly, we don't really have loser mentality right now. It's just that we have a mentality for the long term right now. And the long term is telling us that we need to think about losing. And that's all it is. But yeah, there's no reason for us to get upset right now. Like I said, we win, we win. We lose, we win. There's nothing to lose right now. That's right. Mo's saying, W stream, go Raptors for life. Keep at it always, Lex. Strong forever, and just help limit my comments. Thank you, Mo. I appreciate that. And I hope you have a fantastic time at the Mary J. Blige concert tonight. That'd be awesome. Stargate saying, misogynist. Come on, Lex. What have I ever said in this chat? I'm not calling you misogynist yourself. I'm just saying that without knowing what is said about Mary J. Blige, it could be very misogynist. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you're saying it or what. I don't even know what it is. You guys are alleging she was at P. Diddy parties. Well, I don't know. Like in some ways, when you say something like, well, we know about Mary J. and this like that, my first initial instinct is to think that there's some sort of misogynist trope out there about her. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not going to call you personally one. And I don't think you are. I have no reason to think that. It's just that's where I first jump to when you make an allegation like that. And I'm not saying that it's your allegation or anything. We'll just think about it from the side. Let's see. Come on, Lex. What have I ever said in this chat that has been remotely perceived as misogynistic, other than maybe occasionally commenting on an attractive lady, but misogynistic? Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm glad I can clarify about it. It's more that you're alleging to something, an allegation about her, and I'm presupposing that it's a misogynist allegation. I'm not saying it's yours. I'm not saying you are, and I don't think you are. I'm just saying that it's likely that that kind of stuff, especially with women involved in music, and especially women that are successful, sometimes there is misogynistic kind of mentalities about them getting their success. You can connect the dots of what I'm saying right now. Yeah, Wayne's saying only conspiracy I'm interested in is that Raptors are programmed to never win another NBA championship. It's crazy because they did an AI experiment recently. They fed a bunch of information into a computer, and they found out the NBA champions for the next 75 years. Yeah, they put it in there. And you know what? The Raptors had 2 championships within that 75-year span on top of our 1 championship. So if AI is doing the work and working through everything, and they say that we can win 2 out of the next 2 championships in the next 75 years, Wayne, that's pretty damn good, honestly, considering what we're up against and that there's 30 teams in this league and there's some teams that ain't never won championships. So the AI model came through and said the Raptors, if just doing everything and figuring it out, they think that we could win 2 more in the next 75 years. I may not be around by then, but we'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I don't know. I understand what you're talking about with that. Kareem's saying, I feel like the Raptors forcefully lost last night because the Wizards are abysmal and Toronto would win even if they picked 5 people from the nosebleed seats. Well, we'll have to see. We did lose once to the Wizards this year, and we'll have to see if they have the moxie or the pluck to try and beat us again tonight and even the series with us. I think that it's likely that we will. I don't know. I can't tell you what's going to happen tonight because Jakob can't sit again. I don't think he's allowed to sit, so he will be playing tonight. And this Wizards team is a team that can get beat, and they're honestly not. I don't think they're trying to win either because honestly, they're trying to do a duel with Utah at the very top of the draft right now. Utah and Washington kind of flip flop with each other. So they're really trying to lose against each other to have the best chance right now at the bottom. So we'll have to see. I feel like you're right, though. We could just pick 5 people from the crowd and we might be able to beat the Wizards. Seriously. Seriously. Kareem's saying they said since 2014 when they did balls and percentages, the last place team never got the number 1 pick. Jack Armstrong was preaching yesterday with his take on the ping pong balls. You should listen. Yeah, I've heard what he's been saying. He's been saying this for a couple weeks. And yeah, I like the ideas that our broadcast crew has had, and they're going to do something about this summer. The NBA will fix some of the issues that are happening right now with tanking this summer with the rules. I'll bet you money. Adam Silver's not going to fuck around and let this happen again next season. He's going to change something with the rules, and hopefully it's effective and it does a good job so that all the teams are trying to win all the way up until the end of the season because that's what they want, Mo. They don't like this either. None of us like it. I don't even think the teams like this shit. So it's like they're going to fix it this summer. And hopefully next year, it's not going to be any kind of tank mentality of anything at any sort for any of the 30 teams in the league because there's either penalties or it's just the system set up in a way where it's not beneficial for you to tank. It's just not beneficial. In fact, you could get hurt for it. That's right. That's right. Yeah, you should listen to the third quarter. Jack spit knowledge. I think it's the same stuff he's been saying lately. He's been saying a lot of different stuff, like on different broadcasts about the tanking and how he would fix it, and like making everybody have an even chance. There's not a different level of ping pong balls, but in every solution, there's always going to be some sort of way that some teams are going to try and finagle it and get around it and game it for their advantage. It's just how it is. It's tough. You got to really figure it out. Stargate saying, well, at least the Raptors proved beyond wrong. They have won 24 games, and he predicted 23, and will probably win 2 or 3 more. Yeah, I feel like if we hadn't been so hurt this year, my prediction of about 38 wins would have come through. But instead, I think we're going to shave 10 wins off of that. Now, this is one thing I'm looking at. The month of March, was supposed to be at the beginning of the season. I looked at our schedule and I was like, man, we're going to have a winning month in March. We're going to win in March. And we are right now. We're winning right now in March. But we have to still win 2 games this week to get a winning record for the whole entire month. If we lose for the rest of these games, or we only win 1 game, we will have a losing record for the month of March. And that in some ways is an accomplishment in losing, considering that this month of March may have been one of the easiest NBA schedules the Raptors have had in like 10 years. Seriously, this month was so easy. And I was looking at it at the beginning of the year. I was like, oh, March is going to be so good. It's going to be so fun because we're going to win a lot. But we're in this bad situation, in this stupid situation. And it could actually be where the Raptors lose more games in one of the easiest months of March ever in the history of their team. That's crazy. So in some ways, we need to win 2 games by the end of this week. We do. We need to either win tonight or one of these other games coming up before the end of March. Yeah, we have to win 2 of them. We win one of them, we're gonna have a losing record for the month. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Let's see. Kareem saying, Lex, I know you are itching to go streaking. No, but we will wait until your very last game of your life for the streak. No, no. There's no Kyle Lowry sign a 1-day contract to streak across the NBA's court and get banned from the arena. No, no, and no, no, and no, no. Let's see. Kareem saying, Neek Clifford. Remember that name? He outplayed Queen and almost upset Maryland. Dude is a monster. Neek Clifford, like Dominique Clifford. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Monique saying, I might go tonight. Not sure, in reference to Mary J. Well, I guess in some ways it's how you feel. If you want to get up and go and get down there and be among the crowds, I'll bet you that show would be fun. You should go, Mo. You should go. If you're feeling right, you should go for sure. Trevor's saying, battle NBA story will be it'll be like Fred VanVleet undrafted. Not the same level. I'm sorry. Fred is so unique and he's such a special story. It's partly his size. Battle, he's undrafted, sure, but he's not going to get the levels that Fred got to, man. You're kidding yourself. You think Jamison Battle is going to be an all-star someday. You're kidding yourself. You think Jamison Battle is going to hold the single game record for most points for the Raptors or the assist record. So you're kidding yourself. There's nobody, man, people's got to stop making comparisons to Fred VanVleet so easily. That man, there's nobody in, Ben Wallace, Moses Malone, Fred VanVleet. That's it. Talk about those guys. They're in the same category as undrafted players. You can't say this about every undrafted player that's come in the league. No, you can't. You cannot. Fred is special. Fred is special, and Battle will not be the same story. No, it won't. I respectfully disagree, Trevor. Yeah, and Blackhawks laughing at Stargate. Slug Deezy saying, I would love to see if a team finishes in the lottery a certain amount of years in a row, they get relegated to the G League, similar to European football blueprint. Yeah. Yeah, Jack was saying that. Jack, that's one of Jack Armstrong's ideas is if the Washington Wizards continue to be right at the bottom of the league every year, they should go to G League and bring up the G League champion. That was something I said last week or so. I said, yeah, bring up the G League champion, whichever team they can play in their spot in the NBA for that year. So some franchises will have 2 teams in the league sometimes. There may be a weird chaos and craziness to it, but it could be also very interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah. Blackhawks saying, actually, we know Fred VanVleet's complete story. We still don't know everything about Battle. Yeah, but it's not going to be anything the same. Seriously, I can tell you that right now. Jamison Battle is not going to do what Fred did. I'm sorry. It's just not. And in some ways, Jamison's way bigger than him, so it's not as impressive. That's part of it, too. Freddie was so small. Freddie is so small. Jamison's a regular-sized NBA player, so it's not as impressive. And in some ways, Jamison's got a very specific skill. Jamison's career is more like Kyle Korver or, those kind of guys. It's not like what Fred's doing. Fred's different. Wayne's saying the issue is that the NBA is only one tier. You're at the bottom. There's no demotion. You're still in the league. Same with the NFL. Worldwide leagues have different tiers, and bottom teams get demoted. I mean, they may need to look into this, but then again, also they're going to lose money if they demote teams, because in some ways, right now in their model, all 30 teams have attendance. Some of it's not that good, but how do you deal with the economic changes of demoting a team to relegation? How do you deal with that? And would that destroy franchises where they run out of business? Well, we got relegated Wizards. Well, we're not gonna make any money in the G League now. Nobody's gonna come. They already didn't come when we were in the NBA. Well, our team is folded. I mean, that's part of it right there. They got to worry about. Chris comes saying, "Yo, summer league is going to be hype, fun. Raptors will be stacked." I'm with you on that. It's going to be fun. We got these rookies going to come back for another round of summer league. We got hopefully Shamshay will be healthy by then and be able to play at summer league. It'll be very interesting to see him, and of course Jacoby and Jamal and Jameson and Jonathan. Of course, then you add in hopefully Colin Castleton still in the mix. We'll have to see what's going on. Yeah. Blackhawks saying, actually, I'm laughing with Stargate. You're laughing with Stargate? Okay, I don't even know. Stargate saying Blackhawk already gave a solution to the tanking. Penalize teams for losing too many games. Take away ping pong balls for a certain amount of losses. Simple. Yeah, I like that one too. I mean, it's really kind of going to be like they're going to brainstorm, and whichever one kind of makes the most sense to be effective, they'll implement. And that's the thing. Adam Silver's not scared of traditionalists at this point. He will shake up this league every single summer in some sort of crazy ass way. David Stern used to be the commissioner. Every single little change he tried to do, there was met with a backlash and a fight. And people saying, why I don't like it like this. This is the way we've always done it. Why aren't we doing it this way still? Well, it's because the league is changing always and morphing, and they have to. That's right. Trevor's saying, I'm talking about an undrafted player who had no way of getting into the NBA but make it. Trevor, that's dime a dozen. It's not special. Fred is special. There's a lot of Jameson battles. It's just that this is our one for this year. There's a lot of different players that come into the league undrafted and stick around. Half of the Miami Heat roster was like that for a while. Seriously. So I'm just saying that's not special. It's common to be an undrafted player and make the NBA still. It's common. There's at least a dozen, 20 players every single year that make the NBA as undrafted players. And Jameson's just one of the many this year. One of the many. Yeah. Freddie's different though, because Freddie went to the heights of the highest of highs, and he wasn't expected to. He wasn't expected to in any kind of way. He's a G League champion. He's an NBA champion. He's an all-star. And in some ways, he should have never been an all-star. Not that I didn't think he deserved it, but when he was coming up and the player he was, him becoming an NBA all-star, that's a huge accomplishment. Huge, huge accomplishment. That's it right there. Most saying, Lex, I'll tell you this. Akil Augustine wants to tank, and I just block him out. Don't want to hear it. He laughs. So, yeah, Akil is a tank artist. Leo's been talking about tanking a lot too, and it's been pissing me off too. Yeah, so Akil's messing with you about it. Keeps saying, but Monique, we need to lose. We need to lose. Yeah, I know. I hate it too. But in some ways, if you can't beat them, join them is what we got to do right now, Mo. And it's temporary. Trust me. You hold your regular attitude and the way you are, and we'll do it next year. But this year, we got to give up right now. That white flag that's been waving, in some ways, that's what we got to do. That's right. Wayne saying, Lexicon, that's the point. There are financial consequences for being bad over long stretches. Each tier has different financial assurances. You don't really dissolve teams, they're sold to buyers. Yeah, but that's the problem. Some of the NBA teams are actually in danger of going out of business. They have to be propped up and helped by the other teams. And there's a few teams that are like this. And some of these teams get moved to other cities, and that helps the problem or the issue. But you got to be careful. If you really sewer a brand, the Washington Wizards rightfully get relegated, which I don't disagree with that. I feel like that should happen. That it will ruin that team forever, and it'll make it seem like a sub team in the NBA 30. That's just the thing. Even though they have been for decades, it's just it really will make it on brand like that. They will be branded with being the team that got kicked out of the league, and that will be a really hard hill to climb back up out of. It really, really will be. So I don't know how you do this without destroying some of your teams financially. And you say, well, they would you don't really dissolve them. Well, they be dissolved if the money's not right. Teams can go bye-bye. Teams can go bye-bye. And in some ways, the NBA does not want to lose the Washington, D.C. market. In some ways, the Wizards are a placeholder to keep it. That's important right there. Neil's saying penalize teams for not being competitive enough and add 2 more teams to include all teams in the playoffs. Yeah, I like that idea you had about having a 32-team league, and then you can have a very nice tight tournament. real easy, and all teams make the playoffs. Yeah, it's a weird idea. It's interesting, but it could work. It could work. We need to pick up the better talent in the lottery so we're ready for silver, adding 2 teams to the league. We will be so stacked that we can withstand players being stripped from our team. Yeah, yikes. I don't like you saying stripped from the team. Yeah. Yeah, because there will be an expansion draft at some point, and there will probably be we will need to hold on to certain players that we want to hold on to. All right. Classic card. I'll try and get a newer one again. Let's see. Who's that? Oh, that's a weird one. Yeah, we'll do that one. It looks weird too. All right, first person to write the full name answer of this person on this classic card gets the Raptor Freak trivia points for today. So here you go. Who is this? Who knows who this is? It's a draft picture with the hat and the suit, and it's not in action, so that should be easier. You're just getting a clear, bona fide picture of him. Can you tell what team that is? There's no jersey number to look up. Can we figure out who this is on this classic card? There you go. Smooth's got it already. Yeah, it's Chris Mills. Chris Mills of the Cavaliers. There you go. Chris Mills. Good job. Smooth. Brown man. Of course, Reggie is going to get it. Ahmad Rashad. He probably interviewed this guy on a draft day. He said, "Hi, I'm Ahmad Rashad. Hello, Chris Mills." Yeah, Cavaliers. That's right. Look, they used the same picture on the back and the front. It's kind of weird. I'm looking at you in the same way. There you go. Chris Mills. Chris Mills. All right. So we'll do, let's say 150. He's kind of not totally easy. Chris Mills. I thought in some ways he looks like a few different players that might make it tough, but Smooth's on it. Smooth's on it. So 150 for Smooth on the classic card. All right, I guess I'll do a rundown real quick here. Oh wait, we need to check all my tabs. Let's make sure I got all of them. Blue Skies. Let's see if there's any news posted on Blue Skies in recent hour or so of doing the stream. Doesn't look like it. Karthika's all over Miami Heat. She's like very much talking about the Heat a lot lately. Very much paying attention to their losing streak. There you go. There's Michael Grange. And I don't agree with this. He's saying, honestly, this might be the most random celebrity sighting in Raptors history. Mary J. Blige of the game. I don't think so. Michael Grange, you're an idiot. How's that random if she's playing the concert in the arena the next night? That's not random, dude. That's circumstance. You're an idiot, Michael Grange. Why do you think she's the most random celebrity sighting? Mary J. Blige has been going to NBA games like her whole career. Why would she be random? You know what would be random? It was like the guy, some BBC actor who's never been on his show ever since, like Vivian from The Young Ones, was at the fucking Raptors game. That would be random as fuck. Seriously, man, this isn't random. What the fuck is wrong with you, Michael Grange? The most random celebrity sighting out of Raptors history. Bullshit. Bullshit. Mary J. Blige playing a concert tonight. She got a comp ticket, went to the game yesterday, and she's gone to NBA games in the past. So you're an idiot, Michael Grange. I can't believe he wrote that. He wrote that 2 hours ago. This might be the most random celebrity sighting. No, it's not. No, it's not, you idiot, is what I got to say to Michael Grange on that. That's so dumb, man. All right, let's see what Raptors Reddit is doing right now. Let's see if they're out of pocket. They really want Philly and Brooklyn to win, is what they're saying right now. They're all about them winning, and they're all totally standings watchers right now. They're saying there's an article here about why Marc Gasol's trade was not easy for the Raptors. Yeah, in some ways, Marc Gasol was supposed to go to Charlotte Hornets, and it was supposed to be done deal, and we kind of scooped him. Like there was a deal that he was going to get traded to the Hornets from the Grizzlies. And Masai and Bobby were badasses and came in and got him somehow inexplicably. So I think that's what this article is about. That Marc Gasol was originally going to be a Hornet, but he became a Raptor instead. That was awesome. They got Derek Queen with his buzzer beater on Raptors Reddit. So they are paying attention to what he did for Maryland against Colorado State yesterday. Very, very interesting. Yeah, they got the highlight here. Let's see. Somebody's asking on Raptors Reddit, honest question. But would you rather bet on Shed or Quickly? That's an interesting question. It's a little too soon. We'll see what happens with our guy Shed in the years to come. All right, let me see what's going on with the birthdays today. We do have 2 major birthdays for the Raptors today. Happy birthday to Chris Bosh, leader in many, many franchise categories for the Raptors. A guy who's was a longtime Raptor, a franchise player for us, an era that we forget. A guy who's not really celebrated by us anymore because he's turned his back on us for Heat Nation. But happy birthday to Chris Bosh. Chris Bosh is 41 years old today, guys. 41 years old for old Chris Boshy. And also, happy birthday to his old teammate, TJ Ford. TJ Ford of the Texas Longhorns is having his birthday today. Also, he is 42. So happy birthday. TJ Ford was at the game last night, actually, guys. He is part of the announce crew for the Spurs. And he was in the arena last night, palling around with Jack Armstrong and Matt Devlin for a little bit before the game. So, yeah, happy birthday, TJ, and happy birthday, Chris Bosh. Those are the birthdays for today. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Wayne's saying other leagues in the world operate just like that. It's just the American sports market is geared towards the owners continually making money, even with a terrible product. Yeah, I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you. It's just that you could really destroy brands, and in some ways, yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm not against what you're saying. It's just I don't think it's financially possible because they really might eat their own if they do this too much. It could really destroy a franchise just right away. And then all of a sudden they have like maybe 15 teams that are actually looked at as legit. And the rest of the league is all a bunch of losers and sub teams that have been relegated at some point. And it's just, it'll make the product go down, honestly, in some ways by perception. May make it better in some ways because they're more competitive and scared. But in some ways also, you knock people, you put people down all the time. You kind of make them look bad over time. You sewer them. And that's the thing. They would sewer some of these teams and their brand would go down in value, is what I'm saying. And that would be a problem. Stargate saying Washington, D.C. team will move to Washington State, Seattle. Yeah, I don't know if that would help them. They need to clear house with their front office. They need to get a better mentality and a better culture in Washington. Or they'll just continue to spin their wheels like they always have. Like they always have. That's right. Stargate saying Mary has been to games before. Grange is gaslighting as usual. Yeah, he's stupid. I don't understand why he thinks that's such a random person to be at an NBA courtside game. Seriously, Grange, you don't see the schedule for Scotiabank Arena that she's playing the next night. It's not like she's just in Toronto like willy-nilly out of the blue. Come on now. The original All-Star, number 4. Yeah, Bosh will never get his number 4 retired because of Barnes, and rightfully so. Rightfully so. If anybody's trying to get Chris Bosh's jersey retired with the Raptors, you're an idiot. So just stop your campaign now. Seriously. Stop your campaign now. All right, let me do the rundown to get out of here. First of all, y'all, once again, if you want chips, potato chips, and you want to buy Canadian, buy Covered Bridge potato chips. This is 100% Canadian company, Canadian potatoes from New Brunswick, and it's all done in our own country. So you like chips, you want to have something, but you don't want to support American companies. Covered Bridge is your brand for chips now, and they've got all the flavors. This is a ketchup bag. I've got a salted vinegar bag here. They got all dressed. They got dill pickle. They got all the great flavors. And if you don't have them at your grocery store, ask your grocery store to carry Covered Bridge potato chips. This is a 100% Canadian company, Canadian potatoes, bought and sold here in Canada. Nobody else involved. So if you want to buy Canadian, this is your buy Canadian product of the day. Covered Bridge potato chips. Forget about Lay's. Fuck Lay's. 2 Vegas salute for Lay's. That's right. There you go. I'm doing, you know what I'm going to do? A new segment called Canadian Products that are Canadian to buy for Canadians in Canada to help with the boycott of American products. That's what I'm doing here. And I know it's ironic because I do a Raptors stream and the NBA is American product. But that's my one Achilles heel, my one exception. But I'm going to try and teach everybody more and more Canadian brands inside Canada to buy. I feel like that's a good public service for me. So y'all know now, this is your brand of chips. And they're good, man. Honestly, these are fantastic chips. And they're not like super expensive. You can buy this bag right here for $3. So I'm just saying, get Covered Bridge. You're supporting Canada and fuck those American companies that sell chips. Fuck that shit. Buy Canadian. That's right. Yeah. Let's see. He's saying Kyle is next, then DeMar. Yeah, I like that. Stargate. Sponsored ad. No, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm doing this to help Canadians buy Canada. That's what I'm doing this for. That's right. And I'll do more products like this all the time. I'm going to come up with a new one every day almost. And I'll do a little bit of product ad placement. I've done ads in the past for a certain fuckface friend who used to be a friend of mine. So I'm not above doing ads. It's just that I don't care about getting paid for them. I just do them for out of the goodness of my heart. So covered bridge, y'all. Covered bridge. If you aren't in a bridge that's covered with your chips, you're in the wrong bridge. You better get to that covered bridge, that Canadian covered bridge. That's right. New Brunswick. That's where these chips come from. That's right. That's right. Stargate saying, yes, do that, Lex. Milk, cereal, pop, stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. Everyday kind of items. I've got 2 items I've told y'all about so far. The chips, covered bridge, fantastic. Totally good. All the flavors are good. And I wouldn't endorse this shit if I'm not using it myself. So I'm just saying, it's good product. And then for gas, seriously, Petrocan, nah. There's other people involved in Petro-Canada. You didn't know that, did you? Esso, that's Exxon, y'all. Esso is Exxon. Shell, that's Belgium, man. That's a European company. You want to support Canadian oil, Canadian gas station, 100% from the ground in Canada, sold in Canada, distributed in Canada, Pioneer gas station. Pioneer, and also Ultramar here in Ontario. You can also go to Racetrack in certain places. That's a Canadian gas company, also completely Canadian, nobody involved. And then out west, Husky in Alberta is completely Canadian. There's also some Canadian gas companies in Quebec that are completely Canadian also. Phillips, I believe, is one of the names. So yeah, y'all support your Canadian industry. And let's show that Trump shouldn't have fucked with us, is what I'm saying right there. Yeah, Pioneer and Ultramar it is. Those are the best gas stations, I'm telling you. And I went to one at Morningside and Military Trail yesterday and filled up my tank. There's one right there, Morningside and Military Trail, right next to the Pan Am Center. You can see a Pioneer right there. And yeah, you can find them. Find them online. Pioneer, Ultramar, those are Canadian oil companies, all 100% Canadian. Everything about it is profited here in our country because it comes from the ground from our country. It travels to the gas stations in our country, and it's sold by a Canadian-owned company too. That's right. That's right. Let's see. He's saying BlackBerry phones too, guys. Yeah, I'm just saying BlackBerry used to be was in London, right? London over that area, Waterloo. Yeah, yeah. Let's see. Carlos saying 2 finger salute to PP and Danielle Smith. Yeah, by the way. Yeah, they officially announced that there will be an election, a federal election in April, guys. So gear up and be ready, and let's not be caught sidelining. In fact, listen, this is something maybe you should think about. If you have family that are Canadians that do not live in Canada, you can get them to vote too, and they need to get on it. They can do a vote from mail from outside the country. Like, for example, my parents live in Atlanta, Georgia, but they can vote in this Canadian election. So they need to get on it and get their ballots and mail them in for this federal election that's coming up in April with Mark Carney and dumbass little PP. So, yeah, we need to be ready and not sideline. No absentees of not voting, not being apathetic, not knowing where you got to vote, not knowing when you got to vote. Get it done, Canada. This is very important. This shit is so important. I've been saying this for a couple years now, and we see how the world is turning right now, and we need to fight it. And one of the ways we can still fight it to a degree is with our vote. So we cannot afford any kind of right-wing leadership in Canada right now because they will bow to wannabe King Trump. And we cannot afford that. Seriously, we cannot afford that. That's right. Yeah, yeah. Stargate saying, Alex, you was in deep Scarborough. That's right. That's where I run when I'm in the city now. Deep Scarborough, West Hill, baby. That's right. West Hill gang. Yeah, look out. I got my homies in West Hill. Nobody fucking with me out in that end. No, they love Lex in that West End Zoo Scarborough. That's right. They love Lex over there. To drill or not to drill? No drilling. This is a dumb thing. This guy wants to drill, but you know what? The oil companies don't even want to drill because the pollution factor from drilling is not going to be worth the amount that they're going to get. So it's stupid, this whole idea of what's going on. Anyway, I don't want to talk about that right now. All right, let's do the rundown. Get the hell out of here. All right, first of all, for the injuries for tonight, the Raptors are, well, let's see if they've updated it. Chris Boucher is sick. That's why he missed the game last night and was not at the game. He is sick. So we'll see if he's available today. Brandon Ingram is out. Grady Dick is out. Ulrich Shamshe is out. Jakob and Emmanuel were out yesterday, but they should be available today. And I'll bet RJ is going to be out today. So I'm going to guess that RJ Barrett's out tonight, but Emmanuel and Jakob will return to the lineup and I'll speculate that our starting lineup will be Emmanuel Quickly, Jacoby Walter, Oshai Abaji, Scotty Barnes, and Jakob Poeltl. That's who I'm going to guess they're going to start tonight. The Raptors are given a certain percent chance to win They are a 54% chance to win against the Washington Wizards tonight. That's the ESPN matchup predictor. Now, on the other side of things, the injuries are as such. Malcolm Brogdon is out. Corey Kispert is out. Bilal Koulibaly is out. Sadiq Bey is returning. He will be back for them tonight, apparently. I will speculate that the Wizards will start Jordan Poole, Chris Middleton, Justin Champagnie, Keyshawn George, and Alex Sarr. So that should be their starting lineup for them. The referees for tonight in the replay center: Tom Washington, Kevin Cutler, and Sheree Mitchell. And on site, Curtis Blair, Ray Acosta, and Danielle Scott will be refereeing our game tonight. All three of them favor the Raptors over the Wizards. And Curtis Blair is a pretty good ref. So I really trust Curtis. Ray Acosta is shaky. And Danielle Scott, she's young. She's still learning. She's getting there, though. She's getting there. Yeah. Let's see. What else? The Raptors lost to the Spurs yesterday, 34 points. Really, really bad. My 3 stars of the game in that game were Scotty Barnes, Jamal Shedd, and RJ Barrett. And the Raptors 905 lost to the Capital City Go-Go once again. And my 3 stars for that game were Jared Rhoden, Kennedy Chandler, and Tyreek Key. Yeah, it's tough. Tough day, double L day for the Raptors. There's an article on ESPN front page about tanking, and Orlando Robinson's in the picture. So y'all read that article. It's quite interesting, in fact. Very, very interesting. There's some Raptor stats in there. Happy birthday, Chris Bosh and TJ Ford. That is the one other part we have here. And that's about it. Y'all get your fantasy teams set up. This is the beginning of the playoffs. Good luck to all 8 of the fantasy teams that are in the playoffs. And let's have a good competitive fantasy closeout to our fantasy year. There you go. There you go. Stargate saying, man, we haven't seen Bill Kennedy much this season at all. Yeah, we've seen him twice. We had him last week for one game, and we saw him once early in the season. But, yeah, we haven't seen Bill. The one that's really bugged me that we haven't seen that much is Dedrick Taylor. We have not seen Dedrick once. And Dedrick's been one of the most friendly refs to the Raptors. I noticed that Dedrick was doing G League games. It could very well be that he might have been demoted a little bit. I don't know. This happens. The refs kind of go up and down between the G League and the NBA, depending on different stuff. Like Danica Mosier's another one that was reffing a lot a couple years ago, but has done more G League games than regular NBA games. It's just how it is in some ways. You know, it's just how it is. You're kind of straddling both the G League and the NBA, doing assignments for both, like Robert Hussey and Matt Callio. It's just how it goes in some ways. It's just how it goes. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching me. Raptors lost. It sucks, but Mary J was at the game, and that was cool. And you know, it's fun to be there, just to be in the building and see everybody before the game and during the game, and you know, seeing the palling around. In some ways, it is like a big, huge, happy family. The media for the Raptors, the security, the crews, the photographers, everybody who's involved in a Raptors game and what goes on there. It's always kind of fun to see all the different faces, like Glenn Grunwald sitting at courtside. You know, it's just cool. It's just cool to be in the environment and be there and being a Raptors freak and sitting there and yelling my defense and getting people giving me ugly stank eyes for chanting and yelling, even though the game is out of hand and looks really bad. I'm like, I'm not quitting. I'm sorry. And that's just the way it is. That's the way we should be. The Raptors should never quit. They should always try and get to Larry O'Brien. The Raptor freak ain't never going to stop cheering defense, even if the score is really bad. And Canada should never quit to stand strong and free as a sovereign nation. This is what I'll say also. Thank you for watching me today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, and join. And y'all, Covered Bridge. If you're not in the bridge that's covered, that's Canadian, and you're eating the chips from Covered Bridge, well, what are you doing in your lives? Support Canada in this new environment. You can make this company huge, Covered Bridge. Think about the people that work there, and they get pay increases, and they can hire more Canadians to work for them if all of us Canadians buy Covered Bridge. Ketchup chips. Covered Bridge. Covered Bridge, New Brunswick, baby. Let's go. Let's go, Raptors. Beat the Wizards tonight somehow, some way. I don't know if they will, though. But let's beat them. I want to.